Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Classic Who Zone, the brain of Morbius. I hope you are all doing well. I'm actually a little bit tired today. Um, yeah, um, I didn't sleep well last night for some weird reason. Yeah. So everybody, welcome. Oh, just there we go. That looks better. Okay. So I've sent out emails to everybody that's joining us. I don't know if who else is joining us tonight, but I've sent out loads of emails. So I know there are a couple of other streams happening right now. So we'll bring on the guests that we have here anyway. And we'll get going. Yeah. Right, let's do this. In no particular order. It's the one and only Real Super Doctor. Real Super Doctor.
Hey Noel, how you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
All right. Just had an attack of fruit flies. I was juicing last night, and obviously the next day, this morning, the place was invaded with them.
Oh man, that's mad. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
been.
I just couldn't believe it, and I just opened up. You know the wee bucket in the bottom of the juicer where the scraps go. They were all
Yeah,
flying out of it, and they were everywhere. And I was trying to swat them everywhere and trying to get them out the door.
madness, man.
It's crazy.
Let's bring on our next guest. It's the one and only. Problem being, it's the one and only. Problem being,
These guys mic turned off.
Stupid bastard. Hello.
who's the stupid bastard?
I am a stupid
Okay.
bastard. Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, fruit flies are a pain in the ass, that's for sure. And they breed
Yeah.
like nothing. I've sent a link to the stream yard to Chris McEwen from Black Glove, who might want to join us. He questioned about it earlier. So
Okay.
I did ask you, but you didn't reply. So
I've been tired. I haven't been really.
Yeah.
I've just been sharing the link. I'm not, as you can hear, I'm actually running low on energy today. So we'll just
No
get
worries.
this done, and then I can go off and get some sleep or something, or do something because I'm bleeding. Yeah, I think it's caught up with me now. What's this now? 18th live stream or something in 2 weeks. Can't go on like this, man.
No.
Can't.
Too much.
Right, let's bring on our next guest. It's Alpha Omega.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
All right.
Oh,
I don't know is Charlotte streaming with Daniel today? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't keep up
Daniel
with it all.
left a message in his Twitter that he was doing a live stream with Charlotte.
Maybe that's okay. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Because I've sent out all the emails to everybody that comes on normally, but yeah, okay. I think he did mention something actually. Are they doing line of duty or something? I think so.
It's strange to do it on a Saturday at the same time. It's like the calendar. Use it.
No, it's fine. Look, you know, people do their own thing now. Yeah.
Well, we're all here. We're here. And as I said, Chris might join us. I don't know. I sent him the link.
Right. Well, let's get the show on the road. I hope Charlotte is actually all right if they're not streaming. Actually, I'll just send her a quick message, make sure she's okay.
I'm
Anyway.
sure she's okay.
Well, while he's waiting, lads, he's can talk about this story.
Well, yeah, it is a classic story. This is Hinchcliffe's Frankenstein monster. Obviously, in recent years, it's been used to justify the worst retcon in television history.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good to watch it and refresh our minds as to why the Timeless Children arc is bollocks and why it doesn't need to be.
Well, here, Charlotte doesn't look too happy. Ooh. Right.
What's going on?
We better bring her on. We better bring her on. It's the Queen. We did not fashionably late this week.
Sorry.
I thought that for a minute there, I was thinking, is she streaming with Daniel today? I forget.
No.
It's tomorrow. Isn't it?
Late roast dinner for tea. That's what it was.
Nice though. That's
And just to quickly add, this is the first time me watching this today. Chisholm is a bigger idiot I ever thought he was.
All right. Well, yeah.
Just as I was saying about that.
I watched this and afterwards I was just like, anybody who tries to use this episode obviously didn't listen to like half the lines in this episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's like massive bits of it.
Be a fanboy and just get all the fanfic in and stuff like that. That's all this has ever been about.
It's just his childhood fan wank, and it doesn't stand the test of time. He probably thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
he's had this forever. It's just been like, about that.
See, on paper, it probably looked great to him, right?
Probably
but
did.
In reality, when you put it on screen, it's not great at all. So that's the thing about fanfic. It should stay there. There is some really good fanfic, but still, it should stay where it is.
Yeah, he'll be remembered forever, but not for the way he wants.
Yeah. Right. Well, anyway, we're not here to talk about him.
Could have been better written.
We're here to watch this. So, without further ado, if I can get people in the chat to press 1 so we can get going, because seriously, I don't know if I'm even going to survive all of this.
It's a good episode. It's a good story. Just concentrate on the actual story.
No, I don't mean in that way. I mean, I'm drained. I think that the last couple of weeks have caught up with me,
Well, have a bit of a break if you need to, mate, after this weekend.
Yeah, I can tell with that.
Well, we'll see, because, something might happen. And this is the time. Look, you get run ragged around this time anyway. All streamers do that are covering all of this. I'll just have to keep on top. I'll be fine. I'll get me sleep in when I need to, and I will take breaks when I need to take breaks. But so I'm not even finished after tonight. After this stream, I've got other stuff to do as well. That's what I'm saying. I'm just bleeding, trying to get it all out and all done. It's just doing me head in. But look, that's the life of the YouTube content creators. I can't moan. I have to just keep going. Anyway, I see one's in the chat, so without further ado, I think we'll get Queen Charlotte to do the old 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does everybody remember that bar of chocolate?
Yeah, I remember.
You would, and Super Doctor, you probably would as well. Do you remember that bar? It just disappeared.
I remember the adverts. The adverts were on the television, and when I was about, I think I was about 2 years old.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The bar
talking confectionery.
Off the face of the planet. It disappeared off the face of the planet, man. It was a nice bar of chocolate, and all it was. What the hell? Right, anyway.
You know what I miss? The original club biscuit, right? They only got the orange and mint ones now. They used to have the original one, the original milk chocolate. Yeah, but the milk chocolate one, like they don't do the plain just milk chocolate one, which was
no, they don't.
Just hang on. Nice. PD is in the chat. PD, I did also send you an email as well. If you want to join in.
You mean like biscuits and gravy?
Biscuits and gravy. Well, are you like the doctor? Fish fingers and custard.
What else was there?
Chocolate and gravy.
No, I
used to eat a piece of tomato sauce when I was wee.
I'm still a fan of them to this day, but a Snickers bar.
Oh, you mean cookies? Okay.
It used to be called Marathon back in the day, but Snickers bar, lovely. They just keep shrinking though all the time.
Yeah, like they get smaller and smaller.
Did you see how big they were back in the day? They've done a comparison. How big they were back in the day. Jesus Christ, as kids we were spoiled. We didn't even realise how spoiled we were with the bars of chocolate.
Oh, I used to eat Lime Bar all the time.
I used to like the Curly Whirlies.
Star Bar.
The Curly Whirlies and then the Wham Bars, the Wham
Bars.
Bars.
Froggos. They're tiny.
Yeah, I
they're
heard
things,
Frogger.
and
Yeah.
they're absolutely
Stinger
tiny.
bar. Do you remember the Stinger bar?
Stinger
The
bar.
words mean nothing to me.
Oh, well, you're American. You don't do chocolate properly.
Yes, I
you
know.
know,
I've heard.
come on, man.
You've only got Reese's, and that's awful. Oh
Probably
God.
would, what do you
Ugh.
call it? Yeah, there's always a weird aftertaste on American stuff.
Oh
Like,
yeah, because they use like a sort of curdled milk or something. It's
Yeah.
really strange. A
Yeah.
strange process that they use.
It's no
yeah,
ordinary.
and it always has a metallic taste as well because all of
No,
those.
it does not.
Yes, it does. I had here for a minute. I had snowballs, right? What you call fucking snowballs, American snowballs, right? And I swear to God, man, the aftertaste. Even these are Twinkies have an aftertaste. You just still use banned fucking chemicals that we don't use anymore.
Well, Lord Toth is creating a potential war crisis here by going Canadian chocolate is better than US.
It is. It is.
But
Let's not
the
get
best
into that.
chocolate in the
Let's not
world,
get into-
the best chocolate though has to be Swiss and Belgian.
Yes,
chocolate.
I agree with you. Or Belgian chocolate. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. No other place does it better. Do you know what? I'm partial to a Galaxy.
South American chocolate as well. That's
Yeah. Well, listen.
That's where it comes from.
Stop, because I'll be raiding the fridge to see if there's anything.
I don't. I'm getting
very disappointed.
anxiety attacks.
So let's do what we came here to do. So Queen,
Yep. So
you know what to do, woman. You know what to do.
5,
Go on.
4,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
1, go.
Go.
Go, everybody, go. We should put that on a fucking cup. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The best opening titles of all Doctor Who.
Nice time tunnel.
Give me a sec. My laptop's been dead. I didn't know it was dead. Oh, it's coming through a bit on somebody's.
Reese's Pieces, they're horrible. Get the boat, man. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, which is our Reese's Pieces and all of that American crap, right? Maltesers, M&Ms, minstrels, fucking aero bubbles.
I tried. I like M&Ms though, but
Yeah.
you know the Mars.
Oh, have you tried the salted caramel ones?
I tried the. Have you tried the new one, the M&M's brownies?
No.
So they've got M&M
those sound
shell.
nice.
They got M&Ms, but they're like inside is brownie chocolate. So you got the crunchy shell, and then you got like the chewy chocolate brownie inside. It's
No, but
gorgeous.
you wouldn't like it, no, because it's American.
But no, we have factories over here that produce them. We don't get the American versions. As I said, we take the toxic shit out of our food. You all still use colorings that are banned over here in America that have been proven.
That's how we build up an immunity.
You know why Americans go around shooting each other. Well, if you stop using all the
So those E
and
numbers.
shit, it's fine. If you like the rest of us saying. Oh, look at this head. It's a no. That's not a head. Sorry, it's a. Oh, it is a head.
No, it's
It's
ahead.
a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit insect mutant.
The Pertwee mutants.
See, the fans that defended this after the time this child crap dropped. You're right, Charlie. You were spot on. They obviously haven't watched this story. Talking out with our arses as usual. I hate this fandom.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to make it clear, though, from now on, I won't be getting behind any campaigns that anybody asks me to do. When I ask people to support me, I'm getting crap, so I'm not supporting any campaigns anymore. Forget about it. If fans don't care, I don't care. Why should I care? I'm done.
Hey, I retweeted the Michael Sheen thing or whatever.
Yeah, but I've already got people moaning at me about it, so I'm done. I'm done. There's a bigger issue here, you know. It's best chance we've had to actually get our voices heard, and fans are just letting pettiness get in the way because, you know, or even if we get Michael Shane and all of this rubbish, there's still people working behind. No, it doesn't matter. Right? I'm sick of it.
Talking to the Time Lords.
Oh yeah, it actually gives me 8 vibes and Big Finish. This is what they do a lot with the 8th Doctor and his stories. He just spends half his audios having a go at the Time Lords. So it gives massive vibes of 8.
It's like
I don't know what they exactly done to the TARDIS prop there. I mean, did they take a flamethrower to it and paint it, or? I mean, it looks burnt.
A lot of wear and tear over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that prop started in the Hartnell and went through to Troughton and Pertwee. Tom Baker got it.
Yeah, the roof was destroyed, wasn't it? That's why it ended up so kind of flat.
Yeah.
Good story.
Well,
So
yeah,
it finally came to wear and tear, and it collapsed in the set of, I think it was the Seeds of Doom.
And the TARDIS should look like concrete, not wood.
Yeah. But I think they were trying to look for the concrete look by the kind of paint application on it,
That's
to kind
right.
of cover it up.
That's why, when they brought it back and it was a wooden box, it's like, no, that's not what it should be. It should be look like it's concrete.
See, that looks like kind of concrete to me.
Exactly.
See, I think one of the reasons I quite like this, though, is because it blatantly is sort of Frankenstein in space, this, isn't it? Right, even with, like, the assistant is basically not too different to in the book. It was like or maybe on the films actually, like a disfigured type of person. The Doctor in this is got the same complex. He's got the same superiority about him as the actual Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And Morbius is basically the creature.
Mm-hmm. I think this is one of Tom's strongest performances. I absolutely love him in this. I mean, I love him in everything, but I mean, this story, I think he's
brilliant in this. And
form.
Genesis is a great performance as well.
I like the spaceship graveyard to him there.
I think Tom works so well in his story though, because usually his Doctor's quite in control. Like when I think of classic Doctors that usually control the stories and don't really get phased, I do put Tom in that category. And because of the Sisterhood and Morbius and all the stuff going on in this story, he's not really. A lot of the time he's like behind everybody else almost, and I think it's interesting to see Tom play that.
I love his umbrella.
Yeah, and I love the fact when you were walking, you could hear the creak of the wood.
Yeah,
I just love that umbrella just being so mangled. It's brilliant. It's so him.
And the whole yo-yo thing. It's just that having a sulk with his yo-yo.
It was kind of the rebellious streak of the Doctor, his behaviour in that, and it was
the Time Lords have been using him, so he wants he's in a mood.
Yeah.
Oh, Gerrance, we'll get to all the stuff with that. Like I said, this is my first time watching this, so I didn't have any pre-knowledge set from this is the one that they used to justify that. And I watched it for the first time today, and I literally afterwards was like, any fan that tried to argue that just obviously never actually paid attention.
They never watched it, or they're just spewing the same crap as the media did. And this is why I've been calling them out for all the time that I have been. They're fake fans. They're not fans of this era. They never have been fans of Doctor Who, right? They're showing their true colours now, but that's the great thing. They've completely lost the plot, and it's great to see. I'm glad finally that people can see their true colours, because they've been...
And they are. I do think this is actually shocking some people. Some of the responses I've seen in
the racist behaviour coming out of them, sexist behaviour. I can't believe it. It's glorious to see. All the things people just doing. They're look at them.
The thing is about that clip, I don't think it wasn't meant to be anything profound at the time. It was just a clever way to get pictures of past directors and producers.
Well, no, it's not
Yeah, it was
even
meant
that.
to be Morbius's
Well,
heads.
Well, here I'll when we get to those bits.
Yeah, we'll get
basically
to
got
those bits later in the review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I think it's more than just their past regenerations of Morbius. I actually think if you listen to the hints they give, I think there's another explanation, which is way more simpler and explains why they are definitely Morbius, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Well, we never. I mean, if you think it's about a battle of two Time Lords' minds, why is it then we only ever see the Doctor's mind? Right.
Well, I've got an explanation for that.
Look, we'll get into that when we do the reviews, guys, right? Because I know there's going to be plenty to say about this one. That's why we wanted to do it, because it's going to spark a bit of a debate, and that's what I said we needed. You know, because these fans need to realise that they don't know what they're talking about. Well, they're not fans. Sorry, I'm going to stop calling them fans. I'm going to call them exactly what they are.
That's what I call them.
Imposters to this fandom. And now, as I said, don't let the door hitches on the way out now. It's time for you to leave. Bye-bye. And BBC have any sense, they won't pander to you this time. I know a lot of people are sceptical, but look, lads, we have to look. This is the only time and the one opportunity that we're going to get to have our voices to be heard. And if we don't grasp that opportunity, and if people don't get behind us, certain campaigns, well, then there's what's the point, you know? Yeah, but this is the chance that we have now. We've never had a chance like this before, right? They for the first time, their side are not being listened to. Now it's time that we speak up and let everybody know how we feel and support whatever campaign is out there to be supported. But I'm already finding resistance towards it, so it looks like I'm going to have a hard job convincing people.
Yeah.
And was this the first?
This is not the time. But I just want to say, this isn't the time. I think you have to put all your personal feelings behind. The bottom line is we just want to make a point, and support and hashtag Sheen for 14 is making that point.
So I was going to say, is this the first time we see the Sisterhood of Khan in the classic? To be fair, Moffat did it good. Like when he did that little mini-sode, he did a good sort of interpretation of them.
No, he did, and the actress that he brought in, the older actress that he brought in to play the main sister, she was great. No, I love her in it. She was brilliant with Peter Capaldi. Do you know what I was watching last night? I actually whacked on Peter Capaldi's season 9, and I watched The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar.
You missed Tom's line.
Look at that! That umbrella is pathetic, man.
It's Tom's ad lib that he was proud of. Can you spare a glass of water?
But I do find the Sisterhood an interesting inclusion in this episode, because obviously, like I said, you've got the very clear Frankenstein inspiration with Morbius and his side of the story, but the Sisterhood are incredibly spiritual, and I think I like that in this story, that you have almost two different belief systems sort of being shown and being contrasted against each other almost.
Magnificent head.
Well, Tom was in that time a very magnificent looking bloke, wasn't he?
It's very interesting.
Right away, he's thinking about what he can do is put his head on Morbius.
Which is, at this point, you haven't seen the body, so you think, oh, you're just going to put him on like a normal human, and then when you see the actual thing, you think, God, that would look odd if they put Tom's head there.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel sorry. What's his name? The assistant? Is it Crawl? What is it? What's he actually called?
Kondo.
That
Kondo,
one.
yeah.
I felt so sorry for him throughout this.
Yeah, Paul Condor. I love this set, by the way.
Oh, I was going to say,
I think
it's impressive.
It's a great thing about Hinchcliffe is that he really brought in that horror creepiness to the whole show, the gothic thing, and I love that. It's absolutely worked perfectly with Tom Baker's Doctor.
Yeah. And they sure made do with the limited budget too.
Yeah.
It looks good. Kondo. You can go.
Yes, master.
Go put the drugs in.
Yeah.
Well, he's obviously the analog for Igor or Igor, actually.
Yeah, Igor. But they actually compared to what, like you said, he's obviously the ideologue for that. They give a lot of actually. I was surprised how much character they give him. Like he actually has a proper little development almost in these 4 parts.
He's
from
a tragic character.
Yeah, from like the snivelling assistant to like actually having some bravery at the end.
Yeah.
He took his arm.
I love the Sisterhood of Khan as well. I think they're a fascinating order of characters, and again, the history of regeneration is supposed to sort of stem from their technology, isn't it? Not this.
Well, it used to be.
Yeah, not this bloody toboggan or whatever her name is.
Oh, don't worry, Dan. We're all going to say how this story completely like blasts away that idiot, so it's fine. So who's the actor for like the surgeon? Because he's very good in this.
Oh, it's Philip Madoc.
Was he like famous?
Yeah, Philip
He's
Madoc.
really good in this.
Yeah, he was in like 3 or 4 other ones too, going back to.
I think the woman that plays Marin is Cynthia Grenfell or something like that. I can't remember her name, but she was quite a feature in the Tom Baker years. Tom Baker years. There was the video volume of Tom Baker describing his experiences with the actors and that.
And like her second in command or whatever, that Ohika is like Jilly Brown, I think. It's the actress name. I thought she was pretty good in this too.
Yeah, I am surprised that in the new run, obviously with the Time War, it's probably why they weren't featured. But I'm surprised they didn't try and do a bit of something with the Sisterhood. Because you could have some of them survive quite easy, I think, if you wanted. You enjoy your rest, Dan. You've had a busy week like the rest of us, so you enjoy your couple of days break.
I mean, look at Sarah Jane eating this. I mean, she doesn't really know what she's eating.
No. Because don't really show it as well, do they? It just looks a bit
It's like seaweed when he was dishing it.
Yeah.
But she's getting good wine out of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I love that sequence.
Just a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's natural, of course it is.
And it shuts the door when it goes. Who knows? Now I know who that is.
I mean, he literally says it there as well.
Yeah.
What line's that? Obviously, I've got it with no volume on.
She
When
just
he said Morbius was one of the most dangerous evil.
That's just the first. There's so many lines, mate. There.
This goes to show you they just don't watch. They don't watch. And all of those that came out with articles saying, "Oh, the timeless children's story arcs just about fits into canon," talking out your arse, and we know who that was. One of the so-called time ladies that's supposed to be educated about the show.
Yep.
Yeah, but like you said, that line just says anything from Morbius's end you cannot trust. Because he's basically, it sounds like he's the master times 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't trust the master, so why on earth would you trust anything from Morbius?
The only thing I'm thinking about with this is considering the state of the monster that he wants to put the brain into take the head off. Why didn't he just take the skull off of the doctor and then put the brain in his head and then leave it attached to his body?
Well, no, didn't he want the what was it, like our nervous system? He needed that as well. It wasn't just the shape of the head.
But I mean, the doctor is a Time Lord.
Yeah. And the Morbius could have used the regeneration cycle and to get him a suitable body instead of just having that kind of Frankenstein kind of made with parts.
Chop suey.
Yeah, but considering how much was left of him, do you think he could regenerate?
I don't know.
I was thinking that if he cut the doctor's head off as well, would the doctor grow a new head?
Well, they would now, wouldn't they?
Time Lord, dangerous.
Robert Payne agrees with me.
So this story was written by Terence Dix, who was writing under the pseudonym of Robin Bland.
Why did you not use his name? This is a good story.
I don't know why.
Well, the reason why he used the name Bland was, I think, because he wasn't happy with the way the story was edited or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense now. Because I was thinking, this is a good one to put your name to.
His original story was a lot different from what this ended up being, and they told him just if he's not happy, just put it out under some Bland pseudonym or something. Yeah, so he came up with the name Rob Bland.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Terence would do, to be fair.
Well, if he's not happy with the story, you see that look, yeah, you can give him stick, and say he was very, he was very snobbery and all of this, but he cared. He cared, and if the story wasn't up to his standards, he didn't want his name on it, and I can fucking stand that. I would just
that's integrity right there.
That's what I mean. He had integrity, and he had his politics, he had his beliefs, and all, and he even said it before when he the last interview that we seen of him, when he said about the politics in Doctor Who. He made it clear if BBC went down this route, what would happen to the show, and he was proved right.
Cyber Matt says rightly here that Bob Holmes rewrote it and it pissed dicks off.
Did he ever get to do a novelization of it himself, Terrence Dicks?
Well, he did a lot of the Target
Yeah.
books, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Considering he was the main writer, wasn't he, for the
I have to start getting those books now. Do you know that? Because I haven't read in a long time. I don't really like listening to audios. I prefer to read. I might start looking in those secondhand bookstores. You get a lot of Doctor Who books in there.
I'll go on eBay, mate. I bet you'd get like a job a lot of them.
I'm going to start buying them when I can afford them, of course. But look at that. Well, that was a bit of a
monster.
But that scared the crap out of the little kids back in
the day.
Well, let's be fair. Like I said, that body is something out of your nightmares, isn't it?
Yeah, Cynthia Grenville's Marin.
Scare the little buggers. I think that was the Hinchcliffe motto.
Don't care about people moaning at you. Just scare the kids.
Well, that's it. Scare them. That's what they're there to do. Scare kids and adults alike. Chris Chibnall forgot that.
No, he scares me for different reasons.
Yeah, he scares us all for different reasons.
Right. When everybody's ready, just press 1 in the chat, folks, so we don't have to keep asking you.
Yeah, so we can just.
As soon as the theme tune starts at the end of each episode, just put in 1 when you've got the next one lined up.
That's it.
Pause it.
It's all ready to go on.
I'm paused and ready to go.
Me too.
Oh, here we go. Sudoku said the notable difference in the Terry's novelization. I can't speak. It gives more backstory to how the sisterhood was betrayed by Morbius, and about how what happens when a sister doesn't take the elixir. Apparently, that's in the book.
Oh, hello to Fat Steven. Fat Steven Seagal.
Yeah, so it sounds like he maybe wanted to go more into the sort of origins. Well, not origins, but the sort of the back story, and maybe the BBC thought, no, we won't have time for that.
Welcome, Fat Steven. Hashtag Chris Go Corpse now.
He says my naked body is a nightmare. Thanks for sharing.
Right, we've got a few ones. Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
Yep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
And I'll actually be in time with you folks.
Woo.
Diddly dum, diddly dum.
See how much fun Doctor Who fans have when they're actually watching good Doctor Who. See how we interact with each other. See how we talk about it. See how interesting we are. We haven't been for 5 years.
Sadaka wants to know, by the way, what happened to the Collins story. I think Noel just got fed up with...
Noel doesn't like Collins Doctor, so we're not doing that.
So that's on hiatus for now.
He's persona non grata.
Yeah, persona non grata. Exactly.
And the light comes on.
I would love to have seen in the script how that was described.
Yeah.
How on earth would they describe that thing in the script?
I'll probably next week we'll probably be doing an animated story. We haven't done one in a while.
Cybermat Strike says Morbius is a lesson on how you build on canon without screwing up a show. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Gunn.
I'm just glad a lot of people are relieved, but what I'm also glad to see is, but I'm still in a way, I'm kind of a little bit bitter though, because it should have been sooner. But I'm glad a lot of the fans that were afraid to speak their minds are finally getting to speak their minds now. They feel they can come out now and actually say, oh yeah, it was bad, because they know it's going to end now. It's just the behaviour of those fans, though, did push a lot of people away. But I'm glad people are starting to speak up now. It's about time.
They were always going to, mate. They were always, as soon as they knew the era was coming to an end. And like I said, I do think the behaviour from the let's call them what they are, the crying children, has actually got a few people who maybe didn't think that they could be that bad. It's actually made them go, God, you guys are actually, like, I've even saw somebody comment, I was annoyed at the people who didn't like a female doctor. I'm getting equally as annoyed at the people who don't want a white male doctor. So they're starting to become, they're defeating their own cause basically right now by acting the way they are.
Mm.
Well, let them. It's glorious.
It is.
Brilliant to see. The true colours coming out.
I had a little drink about an hour ago.
Yeah, Tom's like, he's like drunk.
Coming out to be the little sexist, racist that we always knew they were, and it's glorious for everybody to see. But you know what? The media won't cover it and say that they are behaving like that. They rather target us instead, which is ridiculous. Now the media.
Well, we're the low-hanging fruit, aren't we? So it's easier to attack us than to admit any wrong within this show.
Better watch out, or they're going to stab him with that cardboard.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's perspex.
You got to love Tom in this moment, though. He's just grinning and he's tied up. He's got like things around him, and he's like, "I've not done anything. Like, why are you attacking me?"
I love that line from Tom.
Yeah,
I really do. Life only begins at 700. Love it. Seriously, man. That did I look. Tom just here is just
hits it out of the park, man.
I have to agree with Lee. This is probably one of his best performances, definitely up there. But I do like his performance in Genesis as well, though, I have to be honest. But this is sensational.
her makeup's very TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the hand motions are like something out of a Madonna video.
Yeah.
Very Vogue-esque, isn't it? And I think this is when the Doctor starts to realise there's something more going on here than just...
I agree with Lee as well. Pyramids and Marzi is one of my favourites as well. Everybody knows I keep banging on about that episode, actually. He's brilliant. Oh, that story, I should say. Yeah, I love him in that story as well. He knocks it out of the park in that one as well. Tom Baker was just consistent. Yeah, near the end, he didn't give a crap. But he still put in a performance that still was good enough.
Even in the worst stories. And like, he gets criticism for... adding too much comedy to his performance. I think it's adding that extra element which makes it all the more unnerving, because you can see he's clearly thinking ahead of everyone else and actually fall, and it's a distraction. I think it's great, and it makes even the worst written stories all the more palatable by his performance.
Exactly.
It's entertaining. It's fun.
Even even his weakest is still as good, is still better than what we got in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And there were some bad ones too.
Yeah.
Like
But
Creature
yeah,
from the
even
Pit.
these bad ones.
I love that story. I don't think I think that story deserves more love.
Horns of Nymon.
What story?
The Creature from the Pit.
Yeah, we watched that one time. I think if I remember correctly, I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to do
the
another
creature's
story
a bit
next week. So, what I'll do is let the panel in the private chat. You can. There's 4 of you, right? So what you can do is you can pick 2 animated stories that you can both agree on. I'll put them up in the poll and I'll let everybody vote.
Right.
Right, you guys are probably better to do that than me.
Animated from
Right, so put yous are. Don't worry, Alpha. We have the site that me and Charlotte use have the animations on it now, so you won't have to worry about it. We'll just send you the link to the story that we pick, so you won't have to worry about. So
well, I have most of them anyhow.
All right. Well, if you want to in private chat there, talk amongst yourselves, Super Doctor Lee and Alpha, try and agree on 2 episodes or 2 stories, classic stories, and I'll put them up in a poll.
It's quite funny though how like the Sisterhood has such a disdain for the Time Lords, but the way they act is so similar. It's sort of like they both have their traditions. They both sort of have this thing that thinks that makes them superior. With the Sisterhood, it's the flame. It's the eternal sort of source of youth or power they have. With Time Lords, it's their tech. It's their science. And like that's another good comparison. One's magic, one's science, but they hate each other, but they're so similar.
Right, Super Doctor has put 2 stories in the private chat there, Lee and Alpha. So if you agree with those 2 stories, let me know. If you don't, come up with your own 2, and whatever the ones has the most votes, I suppose, in the chat there, we'll get it. So go for it.
That's fine.
I like how Tom always has to joke in a serious situation, you know.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of funny. At the same time, it's very in suspense. You don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a natural response as well to being in a threatening or dangerous situation is to kind of make light out of it. Just because, you know, you have to show that you're not afraid.
Yeah.
I think it's a very British thing as well, and I think that's one of the things that people say, oh, the Doctor's very British. I do think that sort of thing of not showing sort of being worried and just sort of either being really comedy like Tom took it, or be the more sort of sternness or the upper lip. But that's 2 very British sort of personality traits.
And the Hinchcliffe described the Doctor as an eccentric Englishman, you know, really.
Yeah.
And Alien's impression of what it is to be an eccentric Englishman. And he was right.
Plus, it's quite clever how Sarah manages to slip in here and sort of help the Doctor out. Shows her sort of usefulness.
Right, the decision's being made on the classic stories, so I'm about to put them up in the poll. Surprises.
Yeah, Webberfair will be interesting because the preview they did for that animation was really ropey.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what the actual full episode looks like.
It'd be interesting to see what Evil of the Daleks will look like.
Oh, but that even just a little trailer or preview, the animation was so much better.
Yeah, it was very superior.
Yeah, it was. It looks like they've gone cheap on Web of Fear when they've actually paid a bit of money by the looks of it for Power. Well, not Power. Sorry, what is it? My brain's gone.
Evil of the Daleks.
Yeah, Evil. Sorry, Evil looks like they've actually gone with the more expensive studio, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love he's got a pair of secateurs in his pocket.
Oh yeah.
And she just knows to get them.
And then, no, but then this is the sort of cleverness of this scene. Like, obviously, the doctor's there. I keep calling him the doctor because basically that's what he's Frankenstein's doctor to me. Like, he's trying to get him out for his own means because he wants his head. So he's helping the distraction, not knowing almost that Sarah's also freeing the doctor.
Right. I'm about to put the poll up. If someone in the chat could put it in the chat and get voting away, and you will see what the stories are when it goes up, and it's up. And just to remind you that the movie poll is there, and right now Batman is winning by 40%. Team America and Ghostbusters 2 are both on 14%. Rambo First Blood's on 12%. And Superman is on 20%. So if you haven't voted, there's 94 votes. If you haven't voted, please do. That's there as well.
This was actually a bit of a close call. Tom really almost got burnt.
It's very close to the fire, isn't it? Health and safety, what's that?
And think about it as well. Think about the costume. He's got a massive long scarf. Right near fire. You would have thought maybe they would have found a reason for him not to have the scarf on this scene, maybe. And yes, Sadusky, this is what certain people in the fandom right now would probably love to do to half the males in it.
Right, I think I've put the link in to the poll. So go and vote on the two polls if you haven't.
Oh, Kondo, you really should have killed him right now. You really should have gone through with it.
Yeah.
You really should have.
It was a joke, was
You do think, like...
Oh,
really?
Okay.
But then it does make sense because he basically says, "Oh, I'll sort your arm out," doesn't he? And that's all he really wants.
Could they even do this today with a guy wielding a knife trying to take some swings at him?
I don't think they would get away with it.
They wouldn't get away with most of this story, I don't think.
No. See, at this point that upset Mrs. Mary Whitehouse, a lot of Doctor Who stuff with the violence in it. And I mean, the violence in this is absolutely nothing. And she made an absolute fuss about it.
But I would say, surely it wouldn't be the violence in this one. Surely it'd be more the imagery that would get
the
her.
Body horror. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. More than violence, this one.
Decapitated heads and
that's like in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's actually gunfire again.
Oh, and Sarah, not gonna have a good time for the rest of the story, love.
Oh.
So it's amazing Sarah doesn't break her neck. Like the amount of time she goes up and down cliffs blind in this story. I mean, I'd probably do it just normally. I wouldn't need to be blind to give myself a reason to nearly break my neck. But oh, and here's the start of it, the voice of Morbius. And here's another thing that you can add to the massive list. Like, listen to the way he's acting now. He's obviously not 100% there. Like, and he really gets to a point before the transfer where he's talking about the torment and hating existing. So, like, really not a reliable source for anything.
He was like a cult leader.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more about his mental state. Like, he's basically, especially the more it goes on before the transfer, it's like...
Well, his mental health doesn't improve and his brain is dropped on the floor.
No, but we'll get to that, but yeah.
Abby normal.
But that's my point. Even before that's happened, you're seeing the unhingedness. And like the
Surprise.
I love he's got his scarf over his feet.
Yeah. See the wee patch on the scarf?
Mm.
No, thank you.
But this will also just show how much he cares for Sarah. Like, he's willing to basically waltz back into the place where he got knocked out and drugged and was about to be part of an experiment just for the chance to save her sight. Like, that's how much he cares.
That's it. He wasn't socially awkward.
No. Yeah. Well, it's more than that. It shows how almost selfless the Doctor is. That he's willing to risk his own life, basically, because he knows what this guy's like, who he's just waltzed back in.
Yeah, and that's with all of the Doctors. I mean, they do risk their own lives for their companions.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a dodgy.
Oh. I must take that risk.
So the elixir must be kind of produced by the sacred flame, heating up the rocks, and it produces this
well, the Doctor
liquid.
basically, near the end, they make it all science and magic, and the Doctor at the end just says, "Oh, well, no, it's science." Like, it's just this little reaction. I don't know why you make such a fuss about it, almost.
Strip of magnesium or something to reignite it. I'd take it, but I'm busy.
Yeah.
And there's Morbius, a brain in a jar.
See, you talk about unstable.
I love the bubbles going up and the starts up.
Yeah, it's proper like horror, isn't it? Sort of.
How are you going to fit that brain into the Doctor's head, though?
That's a pretty big brain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a young Frankenstein when I see they send Igor and he drops the brain. Abnormal.
Okay, everyone, remember to hit your ones.
As soon as you guys
When
are
you're
ready
ready.
and tell us. And I'll get the next part, well, the last part up while that happens. Just so it's there.
Credits are still going for me.
Yep.
Producer Philip Hinchcliffe.
The best.
Directed by Christopher Barry.
Barry Letts and Hinchcliffe, I think, were the two greatest producers of Doctor Who.
My DVD froze for a second. I thought, oh no.
Oh. That would not have been good.
Okay, people in the chat, if you can put your ones in the chat to say you're ready. When you're ready. Not before, because that would be insane.
In the membrane.
In the Morbius brain. Insane in the Morbius brain. Yeah. 90s cultural reference. Got one there.
We got a couple of ones.
Well, 1-1. 2 1s now, yeah. 2-1.
2 1 1 1s.
911. Okay.
Oh, we got 3, so should I start countdown? Yep, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
Dum 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 dum. Dilly dum dilly dum dilly dum wow. Oh. Diddly dum diddly dum diddly dum whoa. Dilly dum dilly dum dilly dum.
Doctor, you can't call me a girl.
Dilly dum dilly dum
See that
dilly
in the
dum.
chat.
Girl star countdown.
Chicks roll.
Girl star countdown.
Yes.
Oh, you were being conned. Okay. I'm not as pretty as Liz, though.
Nice. They're keeping his brain in antifreeze. Some high-tech vocal cords.
But it gave me sort of, we knew who the Cybermen. Gave me sort of vibes of that a bit.
The body horror aspect again. I suppose the that thing he's in could be refracting, making the brain look bigger than it is. So we can argue that. And maybe it's because it's submerged in a liquid, so maybe it's inflated, but when it's more dried out, it shrinks. I'm just trying to think of physics of it.
Light refraction.
Yeah.
Lock him in.
Sort of magnifies it, doesn't it?
Ha, she's locked him in.
Bit inconvenient, isn't it?
Well, I think that's what's quite good about this bit. Like, they just think, oh, she's just a silly, like, blind girl. They don't suspect her to do anything, so she can sort of trick them now.
She could outwit them blind.
Yeah, she can very much outwit them because they don't expect anything from her.
No strong women.
No, none at all. None whatsoever. Not until 2017. You see, Sarah Jane didn't need constant affirmation to say, "Oh, you're the best. You're wonderful. You're amazing." You know, if you need to tell us that they are, then they're clearly not. You know, Sarah Jane just was.
So does the elixir, like, this is what I was trying to work out. So does it freeze them, like the look of them when they first took it?
Sorry?
The elixir, as soon as they take it, do they basically just look the same for eternity then?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be the origins of regeneration was from the Sisterhood of Khan. Before this moron destroyed all of it.
That's if you accept it.
Then in the extended media, I think it's supposed to be Thremix who invented it.
Oh, Sudoku said it holds back the age, and so they still technically aged. It just
gives the eternal life, but I think it's supposed to be a key ingredient to regeneration. Right.
Oh, that makes sense. So Sudoku said the problem is when they stop taking it, all the aging before they took the elixir comes back. So that's probably why the main one looks so old then.
Yeah, I mean, they have to keep taking it. Yeah. I love the eye popping going on here. And she's great as well. I think she's a great actress. No.
Yeah.
I think Chris might be in the stream, in the private.
Oh.
Yeah,
sorry.
he has, but nobody was responding to him.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Sorry,
I said hi, but nobody else was.
Oh, hello, Chris.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Get very well, thank you very much.
Sorry,
So we
Chris,
lost
I
Super
didn't recognise your name, mate, so I wouldn't be able to say to anybody else, "Oh, I think Chris is here."
Well, thank you so much, and I apologize. I just dove into. I just came home from a haircut and saw that Leah very kindly sent me the link, and I thought, oh, well, an hour ago, so I didn't. I just dove into this situation.
Well, we're glad to have you on board.
Well, thank you. I won't distract you, but I guess I might as well just introduce.
Yeah, everyone, this is gentleman.
Myself, I'm Chris
Gentleman
McKeon.
He's Chris McKeown. He's the head honcho of Black Glove Studios. Does those fantastic fan audios, which I've been very, very fortunate to be involved in.
Yes.
Ever so slightly. And is a consummate Doctor Who fan, I would say.
Yes, I do my best. Thank you. I'll ask you, how are you all watching The Brain of Morbius? Do you have your individual?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Either through DVDs or BritBox or whatever you have access to. We're on episode 3.
All right. And how far into the episode?
About 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, so maybe get it to 8 minutes, Chris. Sometimes we say to people, go a bit forward, so then you.
Of course, I'm doing that right now. All right. Oh yes, there's the Doctor with Ohika. I won't try to dominate the conversation. I won't dominate the conversation. But I'm thinking. I kind of half wish that one of these characters you see here was explicitly with some of the sisterhood that you saw and stuff like Night of the Doctor and Series 9 and such.
Well, I was saying, I'm surprised they didn't do more with the sisterhood in the new run. That they literally were just part of a minisode.
Yeah. Oh, seriously, no. I mean, I'm sort of surprised they brought them. Well, I will say it's very likely that there's. The Visionary is a Sisterhood of Karn member in End of Time. Lady Painfort is very likely a Sisterhood of Karn member from Silver Nemesis. So there are little hints there and there. They show up in the novel Warmonger.
I know Big Finish have used them. I do know that.
Big Finish have used them in the new Eighth Doctor Adventures Series 2, the Brain of Morbius, the Vengeance of Morbius, I should say, and the one that came before it. So they've used them a little bit. I'm sure they've used them in the Time War stuff. I'm not sure how effective Morbius's return was for Big Finish, if I'm being very honest. It's kind of a large-scale event that maybe was one of the few times it was let down by audio, I think, if I'm being very honest. But it's good. Good to see Morbius, played by Samuel West. This is Kondo, right? Kondo from...
Kondo needs to work on his relationship skills.
All right.
I tell you what, he sort of reminds me.
Masculinity.
He sort of
Handful of hair.
He sort of reminds me of, do you know in The Princess Bride, the giant figure?
Yes, yes.
Andre the Giant.
Like the look about him, everything actually, now I'm looking, he really does remind me of that character.
Well, he was supposed, it makes perfect sense that he's a big guy, a tall guy, and I think Michael Galgarif was approached to play him at one point. Didn't take the role, but so you would have had another classic Who veteran at that point playing him. That would have been cool, but yeah, no, I can see what you mean. I think I've seen The Princess Bride once.
Oh, great film! So funny.
Please tell me you've watched it.
I maybe.
Oh, you have to. It's an absolute classic. It's so funny. It's still funny today.
I believe you.
Oh.
I believe you.
The guy who was in the famous scene in that movie with the riddles, he became quite a good actor, like a famous actor, didn't he?
Oh, gosh.
The short guy who was like ended up killing himself. He drank his own poison.
Yes. Yeah. Can't remember the guy's name. I'm very bad with names.
Well, no, it's not a problem at all.
I don't know. Well, hey, I wouldn't be able to say yes or no. I haven't. I just realized this whole elixir of life thing seems to be pretty similar when you actually think about it. Well, not similar, but the whole nature of it coming through heat springs and over rocks, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, it just popped into my head, Chris, maybe to do a Thremic story.
A Thremic story? It's not a bad idea. You have to remind me who Thremic is again?
Well, he, in the extended media, Thremic was the Time Lord that invented regeneration.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, I can tell you a couple things I have, if you want to know what I've done. In extended media sense, this will sound a little interesting. I'll see if you can guess where I came up with this. I'm connecting Trocken to Gallifrey.
Ooh.
Trocken to Gallifrey. And what I meant, and I'll give you a hint, this elixir stuff here, I can see the Doctor, with his getting his hair. Elixir pouring over heat and rocks and all this stuff. Yeah. Connected to the audio Primeval, what does that also sound like?
Oh, I've listened to Primeval. I think now.
The power of the source.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Underground spring getting its power through heat and running over rocks. So there's a little bit of a connection there. It's interesting. Purely coincidental. But it's there, and I've connected them. At least I'm trying to. So it's a lot of fun. This shot room here reminds me a little bit of the android invasion, just because he's being tied up on a little post. Death.
Well, it beats being tied up on a maypole, doesn't it? Poor Pertwee had to deal with that.
Poor Pertwee, oh yeah.
Not very dignified thing.
I believe you. Fun trivia fact in the extended stuff in the novel Verdigris, Iris Wildtime is one of the sisterhood saying death. Believe it or not. Silly thing, I know, but it's there. Oh, and
I'm still learning Chris Classic.
You're still learning Classic? It's a book. It's a BBC book from a while ago, but I've read it, and it was very fun. And by Paul Mars, the creator of Iris.
Solon was enjoying himself a bit too much with Sarah Jane's knots there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, just a bit.
Solon, Philip Maddock, he's great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Does anyone know who recognize Philip Maddock from other Doctor Who stories?
Mm.
Yeah, I recognise him from the Tom Baker one. What is it?
He was all the way back to the War Games.
Yeah, and he was in the Peter Cushing Doctor Who in the Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD.
Yeah, I believe so. He was also in the Crotons.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in the audio mass.
The Power of Kroll.
Yeah, he was one of
that. Was it. The Power of Kroll.
With the yes, Power of Kroll.
Along with Leeson.
All the good stuff. Very good stuff in this one. It's funny.
Yeah,
so,
poor Leeson.
Oh yeah, it's very sad what happened here. I'm so I can hear you guys. I've got my audio fairly low muted on the episode. And that's kind of fun trying to see. It's like the reverse of an audio. You have the visuals, but you can't hear it. Yeah. So I'm just trying to see if I can get the story, remember the story without it.
That'll test your memory.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's fun because some of these guys are like, oh, this famous line, and I usually watch them during the day, Chris, and then I watch it silent now. Yes. So sometimes I completely forget lines, and everybody will be like, oh, that's a really good line, and I'm like, which one? Because I'm not.
Oh yeah, this
you
is.
Have a subtitle switched on or something.
Oh yeah,
I can.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not a bad idea. Subtitles.
I would.
This is no subtitles. This is probably around the time that Morbius is describing himself as being like a sponge, but the sponge has even more life than he has. And there's what will come to the mind bending. Oh, can I tell you something fun? Upcoming fun thing. So we're talking about little stories, all right? I've written a little Doctor Who story where the fourth Doctor has a mind-bending contest with Sutek.
Oh, that would have worked.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's going to be glorious.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be glorious. Oh, this is... Has anyone read the Fifth Doctor book Warmonger by Terrence Dicks, which is a prequel sequel to this story?
No.
No. Nor have I. But I've skimmed it. I know what happens in it. This is a interesting idea. Fifth Doctor and Perry. Perry gets her arm almost ripped off by a pterodactyl type thing, dinosaur. For whatever reason, the Fifth Doctor says, "Oh my goodness, how do I save Perry? I'll travel to Karn, and so Solon can reattach her arm." And so he travels back in time to the time before when Morbius was still around, and then they get involved, and the Doctor ends up in a fight against Morbius. So the Doctor becomes the supreme commander of the Alliance of Cybermen, Ice Warriors, Sontarans, and every other monster you can think of except the Daleks to fight Morbius. And Perry becomes a guerrilla warfighter and actually makes a pass at the Doctor.
What, Perry does?
Yeah, she does. In that book.
Oh, yeah, but because Davidson's not a bad-looking chap. I can understand it on that front, but
yeah, it's ridiculous. Even I think it's a little ridiculous, so I'm retconning it. I'm going to retcon that story. It's a lot of fun. Oh, and there's the helmet, the famous, beautiful helmet that'll be its. How he's describing it.
That's the first major thing that when I was watching it through, I was like, that's a major reason why the Timeless Child doesn't work. The way he describes the helmet and how it's basically a prototype that even he didn't want to use, that it was too dangerous.
Build up a set of electricity in the brain case. It could cause seizures and such, yeah.
So what if, here's a crazy thought, people, what if those faces were the result of a seizure? Because of how dangerous.
Like a hallucination or something like that.
Think about it. That's what I mean. If you listen to the actual script, they give you so many outs for what those faces are, and this is one of them. Like, it's such a dangerous. Like I said, he even says, "Oh, I was going to use it for you, but then it wasn't good enough. Almost, it was too dangerous." And then think about that. So you've got this brain, which is probably in a precarious position anyway, being put into an experimental prototype, which
and dropped on the floor,
and then dropped on the floor. It's like, really, those faces could so easily be, like I said, a result of a seizure or a result of
a false memory
being so damaged,
or he thinks it's the Doctor's lives, but it's actually his, and he doesn't remember them.
Yeah.
You know, a number of things.
Yeah, well, that's Charlotte, right? That's your name, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, Charlotte. I think that's just as stable and sound a theory as any. I think it's a great theory. I think that my personal opinion as to why they made such an effort in The Timeless Children to show this is because this was their way of, it's like anything. It's an appeal it's a fallacy, an appeal to authority. The authority of the classic series saying, hey, look, here they are.
Here's the validation.
Here's the evidence. Here's the evidence for you. But if you actually then look at the actual evidence, it's almost like I feel like when I was watching this today, like they gave themselves outs, the writers. Like they purposely built in stuff that you can just look at that, and that's just as compelling as any faces being shown.
I agree. I mean, it's there it is. Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised he doesn't blow his head off.
Oh.
I'm just curious. Do they ever identify what alien race Kondo is? I don't think they do.
Sorry, Morbius. It's a brain fell on the floor.
Like I said, look at how they were really carefully moving it to a room, and it's just been like not slightly hit on the floor. It's literally been like knocked and like on the floor. Beautiful. And so I'm like, how on earth can anything from that brain be trusted now in a mind battle?
No, exactly. I mean, it's you can't. I don't think it's meant to be. I mean, Morbius is pretty. There's very little left of him at this point. I mean, this is look at it this way. This is a more. There's so little left of him, and yet, and this will sound totally off topic, but even this is a more credible explanation for how Morbius has survived than Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really know about Time Lord consciousness. I mean, how Time Lords can actually survive. We know that they can survive in their consciousness can go into the Matrix.
Yes.
Well, we've seen that with the Master, haven't we? You know.
Well, you've seen the Master on more than one occasion, at least in the audios. Okay, if you go by the television series, the Master, of course, survives in the McGann film. In the audios, for goodness sakes, he's practically a ghost on a couple occasions. In fact, more than one in the books.
Yeah.
He's reduced to being pretty much
in the same way John Simm's Master getting stored in the ring and being activated.
Exactly.
I mean, Time Lords can store their consciousness in fob watches and probably anything.
Well,
yeah, I think their consciousness is a field, and the brain is a receptor to that consciousness.
Yeah.
Well, the Morbius, we talk about Morbius here. Morbius is revived in the Vengeance of Morbius just by a scrap of brain tissue that they find that's left over, and then he's but then they use other Time Lord. It's a little bit like what happens to the Master in the End of Time, but they use I think it's Straxus. Mm-hmm. They use some of his DNA, Time Lord genetic biodata, as they call in the books, to restore Morbius. Although the process isn't very good, so it's a little bit like Arc of Infinity. It's like you just can't bring someone back so easily, but yet I'm a little surprised they haven't brought Morbius back for the Time War, if I'm being very honest.
Darren Bradley says Kondo comes from the planet Vidal Sassoon.
What's Vidal Sassoon?
The hairdresser.
A hairdresser, oh my gosh.
Beatles haircut.
Or Vidal Solon.
Beautiful.
Yeah, here's just another one to chuck into why it's a load of nonsense, those faces. Like, we don't know the actual skill level of the Doctor character. Like, what's to say that he hasn't completely botched this? And those faces are the result of him botching it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, maybe the Fifth Doctor felt that Solon was the only person in all the universe that could reattach Perry's arm. But even so, we don't know any. That reattaching an arm and reattaching a brain are very different things.
Well, we know that because we saw in the Trial of the Time Lord season. There was a whole story about conscious being transferred.
Yeah, that's mind warp. That's mind warp. Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Crozier.
That shows how delicate it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
That it's just like it's so open that, like I said, when all the time and stuff, children things happen. I haven't watched this yet, but I saw all the lemmings say, "Oh, Brain Morbius, Brain Morbius, Brain Morbius." Mm-hmm. And I knew from listening to you guys that no, but now I've actually seen it. I'm like, God, they were idiots for trying to use it.
And it's even with Time Lords' brains, we don't really know how they can hold the personalities of every single incarnation that they've had, because I mean, by one regeneration after another, the Time Lord would go into complete mental breakdown. Mm-hmm. If it was a human brain.
Well, yeah, like, look at when the monster first comes to life. It basically is a feral beast that's attacking everybody.
Yeah.
So for me, that's another sign that the transfer, whatever you want to call it, has not taken. Like, there's something wrong because the first thing it does is basically go on a rampage and has to be sedated.
Exactly. It's not an easy. Nothing about any of this is an easy, simple transfer. It's a lot like regular regeneration. It's a little bit like regular, or at least the Doctor's regenerations. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're absolutely right. I think that, let's just put it this way. It's a lot. It's an interest. Here's my thing. It's a lot of the things. When the Timeless Children happened, or even before that, let's say when Fugitive of the Judoon happened, I took part in a little podcast, and other people in the podcast were very enthusiastic because they felt, oh my goodness, this is adding so much new history. But I had been hearing the rumors from other people of what was going to come in the Timeless Children. And I said, well, I'm not sure how. Oh, there's Bolstrap.
Hello.
We got a busy one tonight. Hi, Bol.
Oh, hey.
So understated as you.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Chris. Other Chris. How are you?
I'm fine. I've been wanting to. Hey, before I forget, I'd love to join you again, talk with you again.
Cool. Yeah, just send me a message on Twitter. If you send me on Facebook, I almost never get them because I just don't check the messages there.
I'm not going to distract from our conversation, but just so I can grab you, I'm just going to make sure I find you there. What's your Twitter profile or whatever?
Dude, you follow me.
I do.
Yeah.
I do know if I do. Oh goodness, I don't use Twitter for much. It just shows.
I'm at Bulls Trek. Yeah, no, I tell people don't even bother trying to get a hold of me on Facebook because I've got the notifications turned off.
Okay, well, do you mind following me because I can't send you a direct message?
I do believe I am. Am I following you? Let's see.
Dun, dun,
it's Studio Glove. Studio Glove.
Do us a favor, folks. Please press 1 in the chat if you just don't mind, so we can get started on the next episode.
Oh, hi Noel. How's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
He's a bit wiped. He's done a lot of streams.
Yeah, he's about an inch thick right now. It's been stretched that thin.
Perfect. I just
stretched that thin. What have you been doing?
Well, I've been streaming non-stop for the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Why?
Nearly every day.
Why?
Because I've had a lot to say and a lot to do.
Why?
Why?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
Just a busy man. Busy man.
You're busy. What makes you busy?
Not any news that's happened of late.
Answer the question.
What was there news?
Oh yeah, some.
I don't want to get into it. Press 1. Come on, press 1.
Do you want me to do the countdown? I've seen a few.
Wait, what episode are we watching?
Episode 4 of The Brain of Morbius.
Brain of Morbius.
I did get that part right.
Yes.
Well done.
Oh yeah. This is Lobster Piggy.
Lobster Piggy.
Oh.
He's the goat's new co-host.
Lobster Piggy. Excellent.
No.
So this is breaking news.
That's what you should introduce when you do your videos this year, Lobster Piggy.
Lobster Piggy.
I'll be down for that.
Oh, and I will have a video up soon. I'm just waiting for it to actually finish its checks, which have been going on for like 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
I had no yelling still. I've retired the yelling. But
congratulations.
Sarcasm.
Go back. Right. Press 1. Press 1.
I've seen a few.
Lobster Pig. Lobster Pig is incoming. Sorry?
I said I've seen a few ones, but shouldn't we wait a minute for Balls to actually get the part up?
I'm good to go.
Okay.
Oh, you're good to go. Oh, great.
Yep.
Right, go for it, Charlotte.
So 5, 4,
Yep.
3,
Yep.
2,
Yep.
1, go.
Yep.
Bolstrak likes hats.
No. J'aime les chapeaux, mon ami.
Oh,
je love le piglet.
Sacre bleu.
Woo.
Oh, I love this episode. This is a good one.
The best opening titles ever.
Yes,
I love them. I love the diamond.
Yeah.
And there's the Frankenstein moment, or at least.
I made a whole video on a scene in this episode.
Oh, which one?
This one. When I was disapproving or disproving the theory of abandoned diverse alien space baby.
Oh yes.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Wow.
It's a big lobster craw.
Is it a pig lobster claw? That's the question.
Little slapstick fire humor there.
Oh wow.
And again, you got the kind of Frankenstein meets fire thing.
I think that's a direct reference to Frankenstein, the book.
Oh, I'm sure it
there's a scene where he does see fire.
Come back! I was going to make us espresso.
Oh, and there's Liz Sladen. Oh,
bless her heart.
Oh, we miss you, Liz.
I think there was in a documentary, Stuart fell inside that Morbius' costume, and they kind of described what it was kind of like.
I bet it was horrible.
He couldn't see anything. And,
his head must have been in the chest.
He was moving about, and they cast him in all this latex rubber, and it was like sweating and everything like that.
I bet.
Yeah.
There he is. Sees the classic smashing the mirror.
Yeah, what's that? He said about not caring about how he looked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's before he's dropped on the floor. To be fair.
Dropped on the floor, and then he. This is where he kills Solon, right? I think, or.
Yes, but he probably thought, to be fairly, I'll just be a bit ugly. He didn't think I'm literally going to be a fishbowl with like a brain stuck in it.
Let me put my neck in your claw.
Gosh.
Squeezed to death.
Squeezed to death.
And it's a pity that they didn't, they didn't solve the legacy of Captain Jack in the face of Bo, because it could have been done in the kind of same way.
I want that to be kept mystery. I never wanted them to go into that with the possibility, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
that's the one little bit I'm happy about. That
I just assumed it.
That we won't get the end of that story now. I assume because of current events.
Well, I was about to ask: has there been any word on whether or not Captain Jack? Because I had heard that John Barrowman was restored to like at least some of his extracurricular, non-Doctor Who events, like a
yeah. I think I saw, like, was it a Metro newspaper come out, was it last week, and say he's not in the series?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him in Series 13 anyway, but just because they've used him more recently, and it would be nice if they brought him back. But to be very fair, Captain Jack at this point is great, but there's a very distant legacy quality to him now. I mean, he's
they only brought him in to boost the ratings.
All right, yeah. They've now got a replacement more diverse Jack. They'll be fine.
Probably so.
See, he needs Godzilla and King Kong when he got Condor and Morbius.
Oh yes. Oh, and they both have hooks. I like that moment right there. Oh. Man, it's a bloodbath at this point. Ooh. Well,
David, I love you, mate, but we've gone through this. It's not a clear thing that those faces are the Doctor. It really isn't once you watch the story.
Oh yeah, no. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, what they may have intended, I think, really it was more of a sort of a light-hearted joke, and then they sort of backtracked. That's why they came up with the 13 lives limit thing, because they realised that they'd probably gone too far. So they did backtrack and all of that, but I think as well, it was just to kind of get them on the screen for a laugh. Their intentions may have been that, but I think in hindsight they kind of backtracked on that somewhat. So
well,
I think it just doesn't work.
I think that's why they had the brain beat put on. That's why they had the line about it causing seizures, for God's sake, what he was being put into the brain. You had the way he reacted when he came to life. There's so many things that I honestly think they were caveats. They were almost putting stuff in the script to cover their backs in case maybe they wanted to, but I think maybe a bit of the back of their head was like, maybe if this doesn't go down well, we need to have something in the script that gives us a get out of jail card almost.
Well, it's never explicit. It's implicit, but you can always. The great joy of it is that you can always make of it what you want. But having it cemented by an idiot like Chibnall, it kind of
exactly.
It kind of destroys that mystery.
Yeah,
that's what Cartmel was talking about. He never wanted to make it explicit about the origins of the Doctor. Just always drop hints here and there.
But that's become another appeal, validation. Oh, this is the Andrew Cartmel master plan.
Yeah.
Complete it.
Yeah, and he denied that himself twice in two different interviews. Yeah.
Well,
and my video is now published, and I just got my first downvote.
Oh, well done.
Oh, you've made it, Balls. Are you proud?
Oh, I'm special.
Grand, I'm pretty sure you'll get a couple of downvotes because they're very salty right now, and actually they're coming out being sexist and racist bigots and stuff.
My favourite was the. You're pure evil, Bolster. That was the comment. I tried to find that comment, but I couldn't find it.
Oh no, it was actually on one of my older videos.
Oh right, okay.
Twisted,
pure evil. I mean, wow, that's a logical leap, isn't it?
Yeah, I think me and you are called that as well, weren't we? Really?
Yeah, once or twice. Yeah. Once or several times.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I can be evil.
I got a question. Thoughts on Tom Baker's jacket?
I love it. It's not my favorite. That's not my favorite. My favorite jacket is the City of Death jacket.
Oh,
okay. And I like I've got the brown velvet one. I've got a. I bought one that was very, very, very similar. It's based on his brown velvet jacket coat. So I've got one.
Well, we have a feedback on Echo.
If nothing else, I could see them bringing in something.
What? Oh, that's false check. Hey, that's good.
Say what?
Someone's playing your video.
Oh, somebody's playing. He's playing Balls' video.
Where's that?
No,
it's not me. I'm not playing.
Somebody's multitasking.
Nice.
It's not me.
Oh,
that's okay. I hope y'all enjoy it. No yelling.
Promise. I just, you know what amazes me is looking at these early Tom Baker stories, a lot of these Doctor Who stories, is how wonderful these, despite what people are saying, sure, I get it, of its time and of its moment, how wonderful these sets are. They really are. Beautiful color, different colored rocks, different color pattern, different shapes of the patterns of the rocks. It's wonderful. I love it.
No, I think it's one of the best Tom Baker, Hinchcliffe productions.
Yes. Oh, he just lifts the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, people forget, how big of a guy Tom Baker is.
Yeah.
Well, he worked as a brickie, didn't he? So he's used to carrying heavy loads on his shoulders.
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently, he's very imposing in real life, even at like 89.
He was imposing when I met him. I can tell you that much. When he was drunk and red faced.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've only ever met one doctor, but that's okay. It was my second favorite doctor.
Which one?
Peter Capaldi.
Oh, wonderful! I've met Colin Baker.
I met him in Toronto 2 years ago.
Oh, wow!
See, I haven't met any of the doctors. That's one of the things I'd love to do. I've never met any of them.
I'd love to meet. I would love to meet. I've seen it. I'm from Los Angeles, and so I'm from the. I could go to the Doctor Who, the Gallifrey 1 convention pretty easily, and so I've seen, and this is Peter Davis and Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann. I've met Colin Baker because I wrote the book Times Champion and gave him a copy. And very nice man and very jovial, very large personality guy. I also met John Levine. Talked with him quite a bit. Benton.
He seems to be a nice person from what I've seen.
Which one?
John Levine.
He is. He's a very nice man. Very emotional man. Very.
I know. I noticed that too.
Oh yes, he's a very emotional man. He will cry. He'll be very happy in one moment, and then he'll be very, tearful the next, quote unquote. Not quite so dramatically, but pretty close actually. So he's a nice guy.
I've only met Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davis, and Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy.
So basically, everyone.
You're showing off.
That's just the doctors, and then there's like 20 other other people that have been on it. It's like,
Yeah, but I met Sylvester when he was on set in costume.
Oh wow!
And of course, I met John Pertwee when he was doing The Ultimate Adventure. So we got to meet him whilst he was playing the Doctor. Well, hey,
or The Hobbit? Are you in The Hobbit?
Who's in The Hobbit?
You. Where did you work with Sylvester McCoy?
Am I in The Hobbit?
Yeah.
What do you think my answer is to that question?
Wow, that's amazing.
I am.
William
You
Russell, Carol Ann Ford, Deborah Watling,
Oh wow!
Katie
I met Anna
Manning.
Katie Manning. Oh, she's lovely. I've met a couple of companions.
Miss Layden,
Oh, lucky you! I saw her at a convention.
Mary Tam.
Wow.
This is where the Doctor sets up or at least will set up the. This is one of the more controversial moments where he gasses Solon.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
I thought that. I was like, that's a bit harsh.
It is a little bit. It's
He deserves it.
yeah.
He does, but it's for a doctor to do that. It's a little bit.
It's a little different. It's not quite what you'd expect, but it's Hey, it happens more often than you might think. Perhaps if you were to watch all the episodes. Like I said before, Chris, you were here. I'm a little surprised. Number one, that they haven't used the sisterhood a little bit more, but I'm a little also surprised that they haven't that one of these characters, and I could be wrong, but like one of these characters, like the successors to Ohika, hasn't shown up in the the new series like with Peter Capaldi. At least I don't think. I don't think any of these.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
Not since the 50th.
Yeah, it's it's one of those weird things. It's like one of the, they'll introduce these major moments of Time Lord society. Maybe it gets thrown by the wayside because it's not on Gallifrey, but this has to be a sister planet. They must be in the constellation Kasterborous. Karn has got to be in the same solar system or something.
Well, Atom Mirabilis did a fantastic solar chart of the constellation of Kasterborous, and it had Karn as a planet within that system. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it has to be near because at the beginning of this story, the Doctor offhandedly said, "I was born near here."
Yes. Yes, he does. He says he recognizes the stars and all that stuff. And I will say this, although this is just me. I've always here he's got the idea. I've got an idea. I've always felt that Gallifrey being Gallifrey, because it's such a special place. I always thought that Gallifrey is its own sun. If I'm being very honest, I don't think it. I would like it if it doesn't have its own satellite, its own star. You know what I mean?
Well, don't some people think almost like the Eye of Harmony, sort of the thing that Gallifrey sort of either feeds off or sort of?
Oh yes. Oh, yeah. Well, the Eye of Harmony is an interesting one in that it's, if you haven't watched The Deadly Assassin yet. At least we haven't got.
No, I haven't watched Deadly. I'm watching this week by week, so there's massive gaps basically.
Well, this is not a spoiler. Forget that story, but it is an interesting glimpse of Time Lord culture around this time. Is that they consider the Eye of Harmony to be a myth that no longer exists. That's what Spandrel says. No, that's just I won't spoil the story for you, but in this era, the Eye of Harmony is a myth. So that's an interesting thing. And of course, the Doctor knows it's not a myth. But you're right, Charlotte. It is very much the power source and all that. And this is before we got to the Paul McGann film where there's an Eye of Harmony in the TARDIS, or to be fair in Matt Smith's. But it's very important to Time Lord Society. Absolutely.
I'm surprised Sarah doesn't say anything here.
Do you have the right?
Like this would usually be a moment when a companion would say to a Doctor, "Isn't this a bit harsh?
A bit murdery?
a bit like you're getting close to it."
Well, it's why I like. It's why this is towards the end of Sarah Jane's time. This is why I have no trouble watching Sarah Jane throughout her whole era, whereas I have a lot of trouble with someone like Amy Pond, who very smugly is dictating the Doctor the terms of his morality by the episodes like A Town Called Mercy and things like that.
Oh, but no, I will defend that because I think the bigger point in that episode is she's saying you've not been around anybody.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
What happens when you're not around people? I think that's the bigger point than more.
I agree with you that. Yes. I agree with you that the larger point is that the Doctor needs to defend, but the way it's not her, in my opinion, it's not her point. It's how she says it.
I get.
We don't roll like that.
It's how she says it. It's not. She's not saying like, "Doctor, please, you need to be around." She's like, "Oh well, I'm more moral than you." And I thought, and I thought she what she says is, "This is what happens when you travel alone." And I thought to myself, and this is what happens when a companion outstays its welcome. Because you are tiring me. Because you are a liar all the time to your husband. Oh gosh.
See, you're sounding like how I feel about Clara, mate.
No, I understand. I understand. Clara, I tend to. Clara's a little more complicated for me. It's interesting. Oh, is this one where he says, "I am the Time Lord of the first rank"? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful.
So yes, you can actually talk and not just growl at me now.
Mm-hmm. We talked about, how imposing Tom Baker is. I'll tell you someone who probably was even bigger than Tom Baker is the guy who played Azal and Eldrad, Stephen Thorne, that was a big guy.
Well, you have to be big just to get height. You have to be pretty big. Like you said,
Big
Tom's
voice.
a giant, so...
Yes. Well, Tom Baker's potpourri. Well, Tom Baker's tall. Stephen Thorne was tall.
the Galactic Emperor.
So was Michael Kilgariff. He's probably very, very much so. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm a Time Lord the First. I doubt it, Morbius. I'm trying to remember the lines. I can't hear the lines.
The criticism I've always had is so you're a brilliant doctor, a brain surgeon that can transplant brains, and yet that's the body you come up with.
Well, I said earlier that you got the doctor there. You want to take his head and put it on that thing. Why not just put the brain inside the doctor's body, in his head?
He had to use what crash landed on the planet.
Here we go, folks.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Here we go.
here we go.
Famous
Let's
scene coming
disprove
up.
everything.
Silence, everyone. Silence.
This is it.
Guard Morbius.
Ooh.
Here we go.
That's Morbius.
There he is.
He's going back.
There's the doctor.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so it starts with Morbius.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Then
two
it goes-
doctors.
Let's see, Patrick Troughton.
Wait.
It's pretty cool. Ah.
Douglas Camfield.
Yeah.
There you go. The strength of Morbius. That's me, Morbius.
Yeah.
I'm bigger. I've lived longer than you.
It's
That's-
the next
that's
line, isn't it, that they all clamber to, that go back further. Oh, God, what is it? That's the line that they all repeat in tangent. But like you said, but that line you just repeated, it's Morbius. He's talking about himself.
Yeah, and that's as you see the pictures of those faces, it's him. He goes back longer than the Doctor.
Point something out which dispels the whole thing. So Elizabeth Sladen, Sarah Jane Smith, witnessed the entire thing.
Yes.
And she encountered the Doctor much later on as well. So one would think at some point she would have asked, Doctor, who are those other faces? That's Morbius.
Were they all you, Doctor? Yes, they were, he would have said.
Yep.
But he didn't. So she didn't, he didn't.
Oh, that's all supposition.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's clear. It's Morbius.
You're all in denial. It's the Doctor.
Shut up. Don't talk rubbish.
Just admit it.
Don't talk Chibnall.
It's sarcasm.
I know.
I don't know what that is.
It does make you think, though, what a little shadow he must have been. Like, how old must he have been when you watched this episode?
Like 15 or 14 or
Like, he's been holding on to this idea for that many years then.
You mean Chris Chibnall?
Yeah, that's how sad
no, he wasn't 14. He would have been about
yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow, that's even worse. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
literally
right.
taken the idea from a 6-year-old mind and has just kept it in the back until he could get control.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know exactly how old he was. Yeah, but
Because he was a teenager when he was on that show.
That's
he was
true,
about
yeah.
16 in 19. He's around 16, 15, 16, 1986. So that puts him born around 70, 71. Oh my goodness! Here's the end.
Oh, that's a good point. And Sudoku just made a good point. They were all male.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again.
And and so if they were pre-Hartnell, then they should have been female, shouldn't they?
Well, they should have been diverse as Benetton, and it should have gone on for at least another 3 hours or something.
Very true. I agree. But it just wasn't enlightened enough back in 75.
No.
No, but all the female were just before the ones that you saw there on the screen. You haven't seen them yet.
Oh, I apologize. Chris Chibnall would have been only about 4 or 5 years old here.
Oh, wow. That just makes it worse.
Here, actually, not
He still has the mentality of a 5-year-old.
I know it
Really
does.
does. God, especially if you watch that Comic-Con panel.
Ugh.
I watched half
Yeah.
of it and then turned it off.
I didn't watch a thing. That's Nectar, he says.
Chris, you missed
wonderful.
nothing.
Thank you. Just like the Series 13 trailer, you miss nothing. You gain or miss nothing from it.
Tom's just like reliving a time when he had a hangover and he's woken up, so he's just using that for experience.
Stewed apricots, no custard.
Yes. Now here's a little interesting thing with regeneration. I think doesn't she become a young woman?
Yeah, there she's younger.
Yeah. The big question I have is whether or not these ladies are not Gallifreyanus, but if they have regenerative ability beyond.
Yeah. Well, the whole point of this is that they were the originators of the elixir which the Time Lords stole to make regeneration energy, and
that's not how I've been told that happened. That's not how I've been told otherwise.
Yeah, by certain.
Notice this dematerialization here. Notice this dematerialization. I've always wondered about it. So you see it going, and then light the blue touch paper and stand back, and then beautiful.
But don't forget, because it was materialized there by them, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
So it was,
I was
they had to
say.
break that spell, I guess. Whatever.
Basically, he got forced to be on this planet, so it was whatever was going to be. It's never going to be a normal one, was it?
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's a time lock in some way. I don't know. Beautiful.
You're behind.
Beautiful story. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What we do is we go around the panel, but we'll start with Charlotte because I know Charlotte will have to leave soon. So we'll start with Charlotte first. So if you want to give your rating as we do each week, and
I think this is probably one of my favorite Tom I've watched so far. So I'm going to give it a 9 because I really like how they sort of use bits of the horror, the Frankenstein influence, the sort of mad scientist. And then it's almost a counter to the calm stuff, to the rituals and the magic. Tom, I do agree, he's on fire in this episode. He's really having
he nearly
fun.
was twice.
I think Tom was having fun, and I think whenever Tom has fun, his acting's a lot better in an episode. I've noticed it's when he's really he feels like he's almost having like a play. Like you can see that in some of the sort of manic smiles and the one-liners and the sort of way he's acting in this episode. Like I said, Sarah, once again, you see just how capable and how she does a lot to help him in this, considering she's blind for half of it. It's like she's stumbling around, God love her, still trying her best. And just because I'm guessing we'll all touch upon the whole time of children thing now. Now I've watched the episode. It is a load of rubbish for anybody to try and use this story as evidence because it just doesn't work. It's very surface level. If you want to use this episode, you are looking at it purely on images flash before my eyes, so they must be true level. You're not paying attention to the script. You're not paying attention to how even the actors are acting. So, 9 out of 10. Really good.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Lee.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite Tom Baker stories, which is therefore one of my all-time favorite Doctor Who stories. It has everything in it. It's got the Hinchcliffe horror, body horror, the creepiness. It's just got so much going on. Great characters, great acting, great story. 9.999999.
Nice.
Fantastic. Alpha.
Oh, we not lost him, have we?
Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll go real Super Doctor next.
I have to say this is one of the best classic Tom Baker episodes that there is. I mean, Tom is really in form here. I mean, he's got the freedom to kind of do what he likes basically with the role and that, and or the tomfoolery and the comedy and enhancing the dangers of, you know, it was thrown in a situation that, you know, he had to make sure that his companion was all right when she became blind and that, and what was interesting is the fact that this story was surrounding a Time Lord called Morbius, and it was only his brain that was surviving, and his intelligence and that, and his consciousness was just controlling that brain intelligence that Solon was trying to find a perfect solution for his body to bring back this high-ranking Time Lord from the old times. And it's good. It's good sets, and with the budget they had to build things and that, and the creativity in this is quite good. The storyline is quite good. The scripts are quite good.
I love the
find it
deep dive
enjoyable.
into the lore as well. You know, the deep dive into
Yeah.
that lore,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it keeps the mystery without, you know, unlike Chipman clearly thought it answered everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and that's what I love about it. You can delve into the lore and leave people going, "Ooh, I want to know
Yeah.
more," but you know, you don't ever really get to know more. That's how it should have been kept.
I mean, it went no further than William Hartnell, and these were Morbius's kind of hallucinations, basically, or whatever was going on with Morbius at that time, because you had a battle of two Time Lords, and with the Doctor's strongest mind, and Morbius was completely unstable. I mean, it was going to be that the Doctor wins, and the Doctor just forced Morbius to kind of go back to his incarnation. So you see Morbius's incarnations. This is not the Doctor's incarnations, and that's what blew Morbius's mind. And you know, it was like you can see that for what it is, and for Chris Chibnall to use that and claim that as the Doctor's incarnations, it really shows you how thick Chibnall is. I mean, he has not a clue about Doctor Who lore and that, and any respect for the show and that, and the character and all that. To use that as an excuse for his timeless children to kind of promote it, I mean, it's very dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, Alpha, I did try get you to give you a rating, but
I was going.
I mean, do you get Super Doctor's?
All right, I give this a 10 out of 10.
Fantastic. Alpha, go on.
10 out of 10. Tom's great. Great story. Great acting. Philip Madoff's great. Even Colin Fade, the Kondo, enjoyed him in this. The Sisterhood's great performances there too. I like this. It's got humor. It's got some serious stuff in it. 10 out of 10.
No problem, Chris.
Easy for me, of course, also 10 out of 10. I think it's got all the things you need to have a good classic Doctor Who story, but also has that special quality of, and sometimes it might be a crutch for some authors, of inspiring them to expand on the lore. I mean, like I said, this story has got, and I'm probably guilty of this, it's got spin-off connections to a Fifth Doctor book novel. Book, of course, Warmonger. I mentioned it a lot in Times Champion. It's referenced again in the brain of The Vengeance of Morbius. Audios. It's come back in the television series a couple times. Night of the Doctor and Series 9. So you know it's getting its due a little bit in terms of connections. Probably connections to Pythia, all the bases for Cat's Cradle, and even Lungbarrow. So it's a wonderful story does a lot of does more than its share than you would expect for adding to Doctor Who lore. So it's wonderful, and they don't even go to Gallifrey in the story. So yeah, it's a good 10 out of 10 for me.
Fantastic. And Lobster Piggy.
What?
Well, that's your new name now, Lobster Piggy. That's what it has. So I'm reading out what it says there. So give your rating and your opinion on this story.
Why do I need to opine?
Do it, man. Do it.
Come on, Mr. Piggy.
Do it.
Okay, so let's see. So it's
dramatic pause.
I know.
It's let's see. I'm contemplating. I gotta think these things through.
Come on, you did a review of these years ago, for God's sake. Your opinion probably obviously hasn't changed from the last time.
Look, you've made him super Irish now.
How do you know it hasn't changed?
What is he doing?
Is that Howard the Duck again?
When you scroll down with a mouse.
Yeah.
It's a Piggy. He was talking. Okay, so we'll retire the Piggy noises for now. So, Brain of Morbius. Well, it's from the best season in the history of Doctor Who, with the best Doctor, with the best showrunner, and everything in this season for me is 10 out of 10. I love the evil, dark soap opera vibe. Doctor's awesome. Dr. Elizabeth Sladen is awesome. I even like the alien invasion, and I would give that 10 out of 10, and most people wouldn't. So I think it's fun. It also completely disproves what various
android invasion
people have said, because what did I say?
Alien invasion.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm high. I'm not actually high, but yeah, the android invasion was. What was I? Oh, yeah. So the people that are friends that tried using this obviously did not watch the episode.
No, they didn't
at all, because they based that on this, and I think it's hilarious and it's fun. And all hail Lobster Piggy.
That's it. I'm giving this a 10 as well. It's been a while since I've given a classic story a 10. Everybody's made some great points, but I think the biggest one we can take from this is that this story does annihilate this whole timeless children nonsense. It does on every level, several times as well, by the way, in each story. So look, you can see it now. They've spectacularly blown their top now, and it's wonderful to see. I have to be honest. We've been taking a lot of stick over the last few years, and if they say they cast another male Doctor and they go, let them go. I say leave the fandom. Yes, all you've ever been is a stain on this fandom. The Gymnal era is a stain.
We love this show. That's why we want to change everything about it.
Yeah, timeless child and children stain on this fandom and show legacy. Absolutely ridiculous. But look, it doesn't matter how they try to spin this. Yeah, this story is the main story, but there are other plot holes within that whole thing that we could dissect now over the next couple of months. And Ballstreck, I think when I was watching your video, I think you said you were going to be taking a look at this era, taking a look back. I think everybody should focus on that and actually point out all the other plot holes, because there's plenty.
I think people will be. I really think now is going to be the time when their so-called legacy is going to be shown that it's going to be nothing.
They've no legacy. They've left nothing. They've just destroyed the show. They're moving on now, like everybody said they would do. They came in like locusts, they did their damage, and now they'll move on to the next project. That's what they do. They move from fandom to fandom as well, these fans. Right? They don't actually care about these shows. They never have. Doesn't matter whether it's Doctor Who, whatever franchise it is, there's always these type of fans in them, because they have to be listened to, because nobody else will listen to them, because we all know that batshit crazy. Like, they shouldn't be listened to. But unfortunately, these companies pander to them all the time. And look at all the franchises that are in the state now. They got what they wanted, and then they just keep moving on until people start standing up to them. And that's why we take the stick that we do. Ballstrex took it. I've taken stick. Everybody on this panel has taken stick at one stage or another. For having the opinions that we have. And you know what they say, we hate the show, right? One thing I can say, and Ballstrex can say this as well, we actually watched this shit show era. That's the thing. We watched it. And why did we watch it? Because we were fans of Doctor Who. We're still fans of Doctor Who. Just because there's a bad era, we're not going to stop watching and giving our opinions. And if it's bad, we're going to call it out. That's what Doctor Who fans have always done, And this last season now is going to be, I know what's going to happen, right? The regeneration episode's going to be the most watched of the whole era. It will, because people will just want to see her regenerate. Telling you, that's how bad it's got. People were celebrating.
Yeah, I've never seen the fans so happy.
And the showrunner leaves. There's always a bit of sadness. Yeah, people had their problems with Moffat, right? But people were still sad to kind of see him go, even though they knew he had to go, right?
No, he could actually
always sadness. None this time. Everybody was celebrating, doing cartwheels, having a drink, toasting, making toast, the whole lot. Everybody was celebrating. Right, and that's sad in a way, but I was celebrating too. But it's sad that it's gotten that bad that we felt it necessary to actually fist pump the air and say, yes, they're gone. That sort of like, and I will agree with people, right? It is an uncertain future, right? And there are certain people still in.
It could get a lot worse. It could get a
lot worse. But let's have a little tiny bit of optimism that maybe. They made the decision because it had to be made because the license is, everybody is telling them that they've gone down the wrong route, and maybe, just maybe this once with Doctor Who, they might get it right. They might. We have to have a tiny
we can't condemn it the next era when we've not even seen it yet. That's the way I see it. We have to let it actually show itself before we can.
Just remember, the BBC hasn't fundamentally changed.
I think for fans, though, they have to see that the right decisions are being made, though. And I think then once they see that, maybe then they might. But listen, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Pete McTeague or Maxine Alderton get the job done.
I'm telling you, no. They said next generation. That for me is a massive sign that that for me means new production team.
Well, you probably don't know this, but Pete McTeague has protected his account and he changed his photograph with TARDIS in it.
Oh God, I don't want anybody to do with Chibnall near it.
Yeah, same.
No, I think the showrunner has already been picked, and I think it is him. And I think Maxine Alderton might be staying with him. I think they'll be the two.
Go on, Ballstrex.
I'm just saying, I don't care what they do from here. I will not support it unless it's free from the BBC. The BBC has nothing to do with it. Unless they retcon the past 4 years, and unless they issue a public apology on screen to the fans that they've treated like shit, I will not support this show in any way going forward. I just want it canceled.
That's no problem. Abandoned, diverse, alien, space baby.
That was introduced in my video today.
I know it was.
That's now what we're calling. I've replaced Dr. Nasty with the band.
I watched your video.
Baby.
Yeah, you've already got over 1,129 views.
Very good video. Very good video. I watched it. I only watched the last 5 minutes of the last episode.
Did you notice the no yelling? I'm still not yelling.
Yeah, I think the no yelling works better because then they can't come at you because you're actually given points and you're getting straight to the point and you're pointing out all the flaws. I like this new style.
It's maybe slightly less. It's probably a bit impure evil.
Oh no, I'm
like
still.
Nobody can criticize you for being shouty now. You're actually, and you had this style before, but you just went shouty because, as you explained, and everybody understood you just didn't give a fuck anymore because BBC had basically like shat on us all. So why should you care? So I could understand the style change. But I'm glad you're going back to this now, because they can't come at you and say, "Oh, look, he's just screaming and shouting," and nobody actually pay attention to the video, and then they just say, "Oh, look at me, he's just being this, that." Now they can't, because you're there, you're calm, you're getting your points of view across, and also then you're dropping truth bombs. So you know, there's nothing.
Like the truth.
I like the one about the ratings that you brought up when you were talking about the woman who fell to earth. I mean, that ratings thing, right? Still to this day, a couple of weeks ago, we still had a YouTuber trying to spin the ratings and tried to say that it was connected to child poverty.
Oh, well, we know who that is.
Search, wasn't it? Not the ratings, but even the BBC, in their own little puff piece of an announcement, acknowledged the ratings had gotten that.
Yeah, for the first time. Because
that's what I mean.
Say is editorially healthy and all of this other rubbish.
But now they're actually starting to be a bit truthful because they have to be.
Yeah, and now the other fans are giving out because Daily Mail, some newspaper, are coming out with scathing articles. Now, I don't like those two newspapers personally, but the journalists there, will drop truth bombs, and both articles drop a lot of truth bombs saying, going down this direction, and the preaching basically destroyed the show and the ratings.
Bolstroke wanted to say something as well because you couldn't hear him. Go on, Chris. Yeah, well, you were saying something earlier, and then Noel talked over you.
I can't even remember what it was. What were we talking about?
Oh, go back to sleep. Last time I'm back
here, I spent the whole day editing, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I've been rendering all
video is brilliant, man. Video is brilliant.
Dude, my videos work out to about an hour production time per minute.
Yeah.
This is a 10-minute video.
Oh, please! I spend 2 days on 1 second.
Now it's going to be a competition.
I dream of getting a minute done in
I did it in one go, starting at what was it? I was up at 4 a.m.
Did you see my new video? Did you see the new video that Lee did for the channel?
Oh yes, that was very pretty. I like that.
Hi, PD.
Hey, sorry, I just popped in to say hi. I was wrenching for Rabbi.
Wrenching for Rabbi.
Yeah,
that's a
wrench. Lonnie was on tonight. So I thought I'd say, hey, Bolstroke, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, man, how's life?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for making a wrench on your channel.
Oh, no problem, man. Oh yes, I made everybody. I made a lot of people.
Yeah, that stream was killer. That wasn't it, man?
That was a good bit of target practice that night. I'll tell you that.
Man, my tongue was sore getting rid of all of those bleeding trolls, man. What the hell?
They had them on Friday Night Tights, the same ones.
Oh.
Yeah, but now that I know how to alter the chat after an hour of trying to figure it out,
it's stuck, isn't it? It's behind this, over there, behind that bit there, and there's the button.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's I actually, while streaming, I had to find a goddamn tutorial video telling me how to turn on slow chat.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing, and I was shouting out in the
chat. But they used to have it on YouTube beside the chat. You could change it to slow mo. I don't know why they keep changing it.
Because YouTube fucking sucks.
Oh no! Everything's the buttons are in the wrong place.
Well, have you ever considered moving to another platform eventually? When this new one, what do they call it?
I have been. I think I counted. I've been on. Since 2007, I believe I've been on a little over 20 different platforms. Most of them have gone under.
Yes.
Actually, all of them have gone under. I'm sure everybody remembers the VidMe debacle. That was the most recent. BitChute is the most useless site I've ever used in my life.
What about
I got
Odyssey?
frustrated. I at this point I'm I'll just wait and see if something ever takes off because I'm tired of switching from platform to platform.
Yeah.
Sure,
all of these new platforms, they never work out. Everybody says join them, but they
but I mean they've got all the big names like YouTube and Google and Twitter and all the rest of it who actively suppress them, and that's why they go under because they've got too much powerful competition. It's a monopoly.
Yep,
that's the problem. Yes.
The closest, which is actually still around, is Daily Motion. I have no idea how they're still around, but somehow they're still around. I think the biggest one I was on was Blip TV, I think it was. Yeah, I was on there for a while. I think that's the closest I'd ever had to like any momentum. And Daily Motion deleted my channel for hateful content a while ago, so I just said to hell with that.
Yeah, they got all this illegal content on there anyway.
I was gonna say.
It's outrageous.
I understand. That's how I watched That's how I watched Brain of Morbius just now.
Yeah. Remember to have your ad blocker switched on for that one. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, that's a problem. I know, but what's this? What's this?
Right, just to let you know, this is put the poll up an hour ago. Vote for your classic animated story you would like us to do, and so far, as you can see, Power of the Daleks has 75% of the vote. If you haven't voted, please do. Fury of the Deep is the other one, and then down here we have the movie poll, and as you can see, Batman is storming into the lead. We got Team America, the original Superman, obviously,
Team America,
Lord, and Ghostbusters 2. So again, voting all those polls. I'll put the link.
Please, movie for next, please. Okay, Batman 1989, Team America. Which one is that?
To America, well, police.
America, fuck yeah!
Oh, that movie. Oh yeah, I saw that. I my fucking ass in the theater. That was a fun time. Superman 1978, brilliant. I've never watched any of the Rambo movies.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
No,
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen the Rambo movie. I haven't seen the Rambo movie myself, so.
Well, go and vote in the poll, guys. Leave our vote. As you can see, though, Batman is clearly in the lead right now.
Clearly.
Well, good. Hope people watch that one. I mean, I think I've seen that one. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. It's good. Really good.
Batman.
It's a classic little line.
Yeah.
I think that might be the first time.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I asked that of all my friends.
No, we're not doing Batman and Robin. We're doing Batman. Batman.
It's from Batman.
Where did they get a load of me?
Robin is the best thing that's ever graced my TV screen. I saw
really.
Dude, in 1997, I saw that in the theater high as fuck.
Yeah, say it was then, yeah.
It's the only way you can watch
Good times, good times.
I was gonna say, if you just want to laugh at something, that's perfect movie.
Well, I didn't realize I was so fucking high I couldn't tell it was terrible until I finished. But damn, it was fun. And then I watched it not high and like, oh crap, this is terrible.
It was a terrible movie, man. Tell you, it nearly killed the franchise.
It did kill the franchise for 8 years.
Yeah, and then obviously we got
Bat nipples.
Yeah, never understood that. Actually, that was a bit over the top already.
Well, they kind of.
I did like the Batman.
Took the Roman Centurion armor.
I know people hated that, but I did like.
No, the best Batmobile was the Batman original. The 89 original.
Yeah.
Bat credit card.
Quality.
Bat signature. Yeah, I've heard that story.
But at least from that, out of the ashes of that franchise, I guess we got the Christopher Nolan stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed those films. I don't know about, sadly, not ashes out of that, but what's transformed to the DCEU. I'm not too fond of those movies, but I really like there's a good interim.
I'd like to see Batman return to be more comic book, more like the Burton Batman, more fantasy, more silly, more. I'd like to see a gothic Gotham again, and
yes.
I actually saw a video on that. He was slated to do the third one. Right, he tells the story. There's some YouTuber that I found that does all of these movies that never happened. And what happened?
Because Batman Returns, because he didn't sell any toys.
Yeah,
he didn't sell any toys because it was too dark. Yeah.
So he goes in right when they want the third one done, and he's sitting there with all the executives, and here they are. You don't really want to do this movie, don't you? Not you want to do your type of movie. Like they tried to convince him not to do the movie, and then when he realized they didn't want him to do it, he said he just left. but he was executive producer on the third movie. But the thing about it was only a name only. He had nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. Nothing to do with it. But his idea for
great
the
soundtrack though, Batman Forever
looked great.
Oh,
It's funny, like
Penny
the
Elfman
studios wouldn't take the risks with.
I mean, the band, the music they used.
Yeah, I mean, Burton's third movie sounded kind of pretty sensational. With some of the characters that he wanted to bring in, it's just a pity he never got to do it, man.
Well, isn't it? Am I thinking of rumors, or is it true that Michael Keaton is back in one of the
Flashpoint? Yeah,
he is.
They'll probably have him led round the nose by Supergirl and told how toxic an alien is.
Will you? You don't know.
We do know. Come on.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do. Look,
no, we
I was
don't.
right about Woke of the Worlds. You were wrong. I was right.
No, stop it. Right? You don't know.
Well, you've reminded me. You've reminded me. So someone you. Woke of the Worlds. I'm assuming you mean More of the Worlds with Eleanor Tomlinson.
Yeah, the BBC one.
Well, I understand. I haven't seen that, but one of my friends, I believe you. I was
actually rubbish. I'll agree.
The episodes are terrible.
Oh, I've heard that, but
I couldn't watch the third part. So what's the?
It is. It's rubbish. Sorry, Karen. I have to agree on that.
Who's Amy? Who the hell's Amy?
And I said it would be Noel, and you said the same thing you're telling me now about Flashpoint. So I was right then. Just bear that in mind.
You won't be right.
Well, I bring it up. I only bring it up just because yesterday I was having a conversation with my friends. He's actually on YouTube. His name Beware. He does some good stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, I love his stuff right now. He's giving me Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, he is. And so we were talking about some of the stuff. But he showed me a list of his some of the people he would like to see as Doctor, and she was Eleanor Tomlinson was one of them. So I'm just curious, in a perfect world, because we talked about the possibility that maybe it's Pete McTeague that will be the next showrunner, and I, being very honest, I think that's very likely. But in a perfect world, that whoever is the showrunner will be able to do his own type of stories without too much. We'll put it this way: that his intentions are not fraught with ideology. Who would you like to see as the next Doctor, if there is?
I suggested yesterday on this channel Anirin Barnard, who was in Interlude in Prague. He played Mozart in that. And I shared a picture on here, and I think a lot of people agreed that he looked very.
Is that the Welsh guy?
The Welsh chap,
that's the one.
I don't know. Noel, have you got that picture still?
Oh man, no, I don't.
I'll have to check it out.
It's in your inbox and your DMs still.
Jesus, you really want me to call this?
Are
we doing this again? Are we?
Yeah. We are.
Too much like work.
I see who you're talking about. I see who you're talking about. Yeah, he could. Innurin Barnard. I see who you're talking about. Okay, well, he definitely has an interesting look that he could do it. Again, if it's assuming that if they keep a woman, was there a woman that you'd prefer to see or no?
No. The Doctor's a male character, and it works best as a male. I love Missy. I think it's something the Master would do. I just don't think it's very doctory. I mean, it may have worked. It could have worked, perhaps, but it was never really properly addressed.
They had their chance and they blew it.
Yeah, but the problem is, by having a female Doctor, they are so nervous, I think, and that's what I think has really shown now we're getting near the end of Jodie's run, that because she's a female Doctor, they're scared to make her look vulnerable, they're scared to make her look weak, they're scared to do so many things because of the gender. That's why I think a male Doctor works as well, because you're not as restricted with storylines. Because of their own little rules, their own little games, they make it harder to write a female Doctor.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right, Sean. I remember talking to one of my friends shortly before Jodie came along, and I voiced just that concern, saying, if they feed into the stereotype of, you can't hit a girl, so to speak, how in the world will they ever be in a situation where the Doctor's in any physical trouble? And then my friend,
do a threat.
She's never been. She's the closest Jodie has ever been actually physically assaulted is one of the drags lifted her by the neck, but then afterwards it just was for a second, and then she fell to the ground.
Remember that time when she was all bound up, like in that stupid thing with the guy with the funny fingers, and she was all trussed up, and then she managed somehow to make the sonic screwdriver leap out of her pocket into her hand.
Fly.
That was stupid.
Well,
Stupid.
I can't imagine I can't even imagine. Well, I think you think, oh, some of the Doctors have gone through a lot of physical trauma. I can almost guarantee you, her regeneration won't be because of physical trauma. It'll be probably a self-sacrifice or something. But that's the whole thing.
Yeah, but she's not very good at self-sacrificing either. Like the timeless child, you know, she's like, oh, I'm gonna stop you. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna run away and leave it to this white dude to blow himself up.
Yeah,
you know what I think they could do? They could maybe do an illness, because that's not physical violence, is it?
No, they could
maybe get away with that.
They will only allow her to die a violent death if it's done by another woman. But I think it's this
I've got an idea of how.
I think it's this Vinder guy is going to do it. I think that's what's
Vinder. What do you think, Chris?
I got my dream scenario.
Yeah.
So the death of abandoned diverse alien space baby. So to know where Peter Capaldi shows up. What the fuck have you done? It's going to be a crossover, and then just fucking shoots her in the head, and then she dies and doesn't regenerate. At the end.
Do you know what I think is going to happen? She'll take Emily Wildington Davison's place and get hit by the king's horse.
Oh my gosh!
She'll be the bestest one that dies instead.
No, but that means then she's actually putting herself like before other people, and this Doctor never does that.
No, I just want one of the former Doctors to shoot her in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'm just curious. Again, I hope to have people's opinions. We've known from a lot of these rumors that have been going, because remember, Jodie's announced her departure was kind of rumored and announced, practically New Year's Day. So we've had 7 months until it's confirmed. In the interim, what just happened? It's almost like with the passage of time, her departure has extended. Meaning, okay, she's out after Series 13. Then she's out after 2 specials. They've confirmed all that now, but the thing of interest is that the BBC has apparently requested that last 3rd special. Well, am I alone in thinking that it almost feels like they're setting up her last episode to be 60th anniversary story 1 year early? It's because it's feature length and the BBC requested it.
I think they've requested it to give themselves more time to set up the new team. Mm-hmm. I think it's a bit of, we need more time, and also they might be thinking in the back of their head, if it's part of a centenary big anniversary event for the BBC, that might bump the viewing figures up.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I'm frankly just a little surprised that if they stretched her out through 2022, that they didn't just say, hey, can you stick around for a couple more months and have a New Year's Day special 2023 that we can call it the 60th or something?
I've got a feeling maybe Jodie's actually put her foot down a bit and said, no, you've got me for so long, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because also, she probably thought this was... Yeah, but this is why I do have some sympathy. She probably thought this was going to be a 3-year job.
Yeah.
And it's now become a 5-year job by the time she's officially gone.
Yeah, unfortunately for us.
Here's the thing. The way the BBC plays, as far as I'm concerned, this is laziness and theft. Because you don't get paid by the series, you get paid while you're there. So she will have been paid for 5 years, possibly 6.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that absolutely makes sense.
It's to their advantage. I'm like, it's like laziness. You've had 2 years. Yeah. You were paid full salary, and hers is what translates to around $350,000 a year.
She got paid the same as Chibnall. Not Chibnall. She got paid the same as Capaldi.
She got paid around $350,000 American for 2 years, which works out to about $700,000 to make 6 episodes. And then another $350,000 to make 3.
For crap.
Yeah. I don't know what that is in Canadian.
Charlotte needs to go, so I'm going to let Charlotte do channel shout out, and if I can get the rest of you then to do the same, that'd be fantastic. Charlotte.
Yeah, so I'll be quick. Me and Daniel are on tomorrow with our Line of Duty, and then on Wednesday we've got our own Doctor Who with some guests. We've managed to have some people come on, and I might have done a little gift for everybody that I might be part of that stream as well. So come and see us on tomorrow and Wednesday. And very quickly, Dan, for his Comic Con stream on Tuesday, I was on there as well. So shout out to Dan's Facebook.
No problem. Thank you, Charlotte, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, and nice to see you, Chris, and meet you for the first time.
Nice to meet you too, Charlotte.
Night.
Night, Mum.
Night, Charlotte.
Right, let's go around
Right,
the
Charlotte.
pub, and we'll start with you, Lee.
Yeah, you can find me at the Twit Twats, and you can check out my alternative channel with my VFX stuff on there. It's Aldred Audio Visual, AUDRED, and also go and check out my mate Jack Main. He's got his own channel as well. Jack Main does his little artistic bunny stuff and brilliant artwork on there. So go and check it out.
Fantastic, thank you, Alpha.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Alpha Omega 55 and YouTube channel also under the same name, Alpha Omega. I put up a yesterday a little stream. It didn't last very long, talking about the big news like everybody else did, and just give him my briefly give him my thoughts. I got stuff coming up. Me and Problem probably doing some Farscape coming up here.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it for now.
Thank you. Abandoned, diverse, alien, space baby.
Just give me a second. Let me get the off of this one.
Thank you very much for that.
Wow.
Okay, I think it's done for now.
Fantastic. We've got a real super doctor.
Yeah, I've got a channel under Real Super Doctor on YouTube, and I've got a Twitter account under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. Ballstrick, do you want to do your plug?
Put the dust off.
I needed sound effects for the image because if you'll remember, I said I got one of the many times I was canceled on Twitter was when we had this picture up, and I said she looks like a horse in this picture, an angry horse. But then I said that would be an insult to horses, and then they tried canceling
like a pig.
because I said she looks like well, I said no, and then I something about looking like a pig. I'm like, no, I like pigs; they're cute. But anyways, they tried canceling me, so I had to bring out the horse sound effects because. Yeah. Oh, what are we talking about?
Channel shoutouts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I do a thing on YouTube sometimes. Sometimes I disappear for months at a time, and then I come back and I do the thing. I put up a thing today, which is why I'm like half awake because I worked on it for 10 hours straight and I'm sleepy. I'm on the Twitters. I talk about things. People don't like me.
You like hats?
I do like hats. Oh, they got triggered by that too. I have a talking goat, and once upon a time, a talking goat made a video about the 13th Doctor, diverse alien space baby, and people got triggered by the goat because it said she looks like a baby, and you hope she doesn't poop herself. And then people tried canceling me for that, and a year and a half later, they are still triggered by a video featuring a goat.
Oh,
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Chris.
Yes. Well, you can find me at Studio Glove at Twitter under Black Glove Studio. On our videos, video of audio adventures, you can find it Studio 7 on YouTube and other platforms. I might as well say after Peter Butterworth Monk audio called The Misshapen Planet. Upcoming
you keep
stories.
cutting out there, Chris. Sorry, say that again.
Am I cutting out? Sure. Sorry about that. We've done the final game. We're doing The Misshapen Planet, which is my own little story, First Dr. Monk. Upcoming adventures to promote. The 1980s Colin Baker lost story, Yellow Fever and How to Cure It, is coming. The Sarah Jane Adventures Series 5 Volume 2. Lead was very happy to kindly took part in that. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else is upcoming. Oh, well, I might as well say, because the big event coming eventually. So if anyone can spread the word for that, we need people. I'm not crowdfunding for money. I'm crowdfunding for people with post-production skills. Is the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith. If you'll just bear with me just a moment, I'll just simply say very in a few seconds. We filmed a couple years ago on a green screen with a professional crew the Brigadier scenes for the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith. Got actors together and filmed them in costume. And we're using deep fake to recreate the faces of Nicholas Courtney and various characters so that you will see on screen, the footage will be incorporated into the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith episodes. You will see on screen, you will get to see the 10th Doctor meet the Brigadier. They'll have one last adventure together against the Trickster, and you'll get to see the Brigadier say goodbye to the Doctor properly. So this is live action. This is not an audio. We filmed this. This is live action. And so Bolstrek knows about this. Chris knows about this. But it's coming, and we need people to help with post-production, meaning green screen, rotoscoping, editing, background composition, and such. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Lee knows about this too. So thank you for bearing with me for those few seconds. But that's the big event, and I'm definitely looking for help to speed the post-production process. So you can see the Brigadier one last time.
I can help you with some editing or stuff like that, or music stuff if you want. So,
Sure. Well, definitely. Anyone that can help, if you can spread the word, let people know that we're trying to bring the Brigadier back one more time.
Fantastic. Sounds actually fantastic as well.
I've seen some of the rushes. It's
I've seen it. It looks
clever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen a little bit more. And Noel, I should say, I still haven't done a live stream with you about the final game. We still want to do that.
Yeah. I know everything just got crazy. I've just been very busy.
Yeah.
But we will. Yeah, we'll organize it soon.
Thank you.
Definitely. Okay, PD.
Well, you can find me in Rabbi's channel normally, in the Wrenching for Rabbis. I've just come back from that's why I was late and missed this one tonight. Oh, and I just found Chris's information in my Rolodex. Great. That's good timing there. Sorry about that, Chris. But yeah, I'll pop that up in a second. But yeah, you find me on Rabbi's channel. I'm normally in the Wrench. That's how I know Chris from, because he was in Rabbi's channel a while ago.
Yes, we had a great time.
Yeah.
When you got a word in, yeah.
yeah, our Rabbi.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, you can find me over there.
Fantastic. And we'll be back tomorrow for New Who.
Oh,
Right.
quickly. Sorry, quick note. If you want to sign up to Rabbi's Indiegogo campaign, you have about 36 hours to do it. He's shutting it down on Monday.
Yeah, and I'm working on a trailer for his new project, which is coming up soon. So I've been working on that. So rendering as we speak. Yeah.
Okay.
Should be out of the way by the end of the week, hopefully. He's still got to send me some stuff, sound stuff, which is the next.
Tell him to stand it.
Yes.
Right.
Stand it by 12.
We will see you tomorrow, folks. I'll say good night. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good one.
Noel.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, panel. Oh, wait a minute.